welcome to another exciting edition of The Ravens Flock. Welcome, nerds all over the internet. It is Saturday, May 17th, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful time. Hope you guys are having a great weekend, and we thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I am your host, Jose Casabona. I am also the host of Wrestle Rewind, and I am the founder, executive producer, and content manager of this channel. And joining me on my left is...
Oh, and on behalf of everyone here, each and everyone, we'll thank you for joining us.
I already said...
You didn't say it!
Yes, I did. You didn't hear me? I said it like a minute ago.
Yeah, well, it wasn't... it's not in the right order, so it doesn't count.
Well, I'm changing up the formula.
Okay, you like to change up the formula, but at the same time, you're not actually sticking to the formula, which is the thing that you like the most. We're just sticking to the format that you like.
I'm trying
but
to...
it's okay if you change it. You don't like if anyone else changes it.
Sam Wilson.
What does Sam Wilson have anything to do with it?
Oh, don't even let it. Don't get Angel started, Juan. And joining me on my left is the host of Los Amigos Play, who apparently has got Juan's number in a certain argument.
It's not an argument, and he doesn't have my number. It's a biased argument.
That's right. Keep running away.
Mr. Angel Mendez.
Flying those fake-ass Wakandan wings, you little shit. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us
I don't
today.
see you repping the culture.
You're right. I don't need to. I got my own.
Oh!
Yeah, exactly. Well, what is it?
It's called Cuban. It's mostly involves starving, stealing jobs, sometimes drugs. Surprising amounts of beef trafficking.
Well, clearly you're trafficking beef. I mean, look what you're doing right now.
I traffic beef all day, baby.
Oh, and apparently coffee.
I will start conflicts for no reason at all. Send me to the Middle East. I will make another world war.
No, you won't.
Oh my god.
Thank you kindly for joining us today, everybody. My name is Angel. It is, as usual, a pleasure to be here with my good friends,
It should be anger.
who I torture relentlessly.
Give this man a proper
Snickers.
M16 and he will shit him.
I have no need
Give
to
him a
be angry.
Snickers.
No, I will not be angry. My Jimmys are on Russell. You know why?
Why?
Because I am with my friends. And though we may have our disagreements, sometimes in media, sometimes in ideology, we understand that there's more important things in life than what you think. It's what you believe in. Because belief can make you defy your limits and achieve incredible things. And that's why John Walker did nothing wrong.
Except everything wrong.
Nothing wrong. In fact, he should have killed more terrorists.
Oh, shit.
But I
Dracula
digress.
did nothing wrong.
Thank you for joining us today, and I hope that you enjoy this show as much as we enjoy making it for you.
Thank you for that, Angel. Appreciate it. And, of course, hang on. I'm gonna go slowly. I'm gonna pace myself.
I'm gonna say your party.
She's gonna chew slower too
Do it right
now.
fucking now.
Nope.
Joining us on...
Eat your pee, Professor.
Shut up, Angel. You're not helping me.
Who said anything about him trying to help you? He's antagonizing for the sake of it.
You're making it worse.
Shield dash. Clank.
Joining us on our far left is one of our awesome cosplayers on this channel. Folks, give it up for Dragon Fan Cosplay.
Hi guys. I'm hungry.
Okay, so turns out my assessment of the guinea pig was not wrong after all.
Oh. Oh my goodness. All right.
You know, you actually just missed a thing.
What
I'm
thing?
a dragon. You missed it.
What?
You missed it.
I'm a dragon and I'm hungry.
She said I'm a fox instead of I'm a dragon.
Is the dragon a furry then? How does that work?
No,
Can
they're
a scaly
scalies.
become a furry?
No, they're scalies.
They're scalies.
Unless you have
Okay,
a
but you-
snowy one,
You
which
can't
could
be
have fur.
both unless you turn into this horrible deviant abomination. Please don't do that.
Okay. Challenge accepted.
You know,
Please don't.
You know, now she'll do it just to spite you.
If you do that, you will blind people.
Angel's like, stay pure.
He's not pure.
No, we're not.
And you have no room to talk about purity. You yourself have horrible degeneracies as well, so you have no room to talk.
Dragon needs
There's no such thing as purity in any way, shape, or form.
I mean, newborns are pure.
You know what else are pure?
What?
The dodo.
Dodos.
No, the
They're
dodo
dead.
was an animal. They had instinct.
They're
Animals
dead.
can...
No,
Yeah.
they're dumb.
Yes.
They were really
Animals can
dumb.
They were
You
very
did.
dumb. They operated on instinct, and they were genetically pure. That's why they're extinct.
Yeah.
Remember,
guess what?
folks, genetic purity is a lie.
I mean,
I mean, how do you define
they literally
pure?
just walked right up to the people and then they just shot him
For
dead.
the record, no, it wasn't even the people. It was just predators that got introduced in their
Well,
location.
no, it's
Even
also
worse.
when they came there,
Folks.
they just walked up.
There's also a race of parrot that is being protected specifically for that reason right now. They
Yeah.
are so dumb they don't even fly.
Angel, please. All right. And joining us on our far right is one of our other awesome cosplayers on this channel. Folks, give it up for Zayana Rose Cosplay.
Hi guys. Yeah, I'm also hungry, but I will be waiting for dinner tonight.
Would you be interested in Bunch of Crunch for a little
Oh,
bit?
God, no.
Would you be interested in a little bunch of crunch?
I never say no to crunch.
Okay.
May I
You
have
can
some crunch too?
It's a good time!
Is that a yes?
No!
Fine.
Maybe he'll share.
Maybe.
I don't know, man. That argument about
Maybe.
Sam Wilson, you know, Juan's got a big hang up on that.
It can't be helped. Juan has fallen close to racism, so I can't help it right now.
It can't be helped that I'm right and you're not.
See
that thing that you
just
never...
like a racist.
You see that thing that you never admit to.
One day he
being
will
wrong.
see the light of his ways, but until then, I am willing to shoulder the burden of knowing that I'm always right.
All
I
right.
feel like all of us are like,
Only a
food,
narcissistic
food,
psychopath
food.
can never admit to faults.
I just
I admit
happen-
to faults plenty of the time.
I just happen to know the fact that we really should have a Ross in the office.
Anyway.
I'm just saying, if the policy of my country becomes, do what I tell you or I send the Hulk after you, I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying
So-
we're fucking winning.
So it's fascism.
Yeah.
But
What
bro-
I'm
So
saying
you're
is,
okay with it,
fuck yeah.
as long as it's the Hulk.
We have a Hulk.
No, that's still wrong.
We could have a Hulk. I'm just saying.
Oh.
Listen, no, you know what? No, it's not fascism. It's the implication.
Oh my God.
Like, I'm not gonna tell you what's
Nuclear
gonna
deterrent,
I'm not gonna
because
tell
that
you.
calms everything all right
No,
down.
it's a gamma deterrent. Get it right.
Oh.
Gamma is radiation, which
Yeah.
is nuclear.
But it's special. It's like
It's
this.
not that special.
It's like
It's
this.
the most basic radiation.
It's
there
like
is.
this. I'm gonna offer you an excellent economical deal. You don't have to agree, but I'm going to put this gun on the table.
Oh my God.
No.
It's
Angel.
the implication.
Guys, please
So,
stop before you
holding
get.
a gun to the head of the world and calling it security.
It's not a gun, by the way. It's actually just Harrison Ford, and he's pointing his finger at your head.
Guys,
like this.
please stop before Ziana Rosa Dragon Fang turn into giant red monsters and destroy us.
Okay, fine. Jeez.
Challenge accepted.
Giant
Who says
red.
we aren't.
Well, that's because when they go Hulk, they become 6 feet only. That's it.
Actually, technically, we become ninjas.
Yeah.
Ninjas
Yeah.
that you cannot see, and then we literally jump on your back.
Gamma radiation
just
manifests
go through.
differently in different people.
You could make a decent Psylocke cosplay, actually.
Who?
Psylocke.
Psylocke.
Oh, from X-Men.
She's a
There
mutant.
is this version of her from a comic that imitates Japanese art that
You can
gives
tell
this
we don't really
beautiful
watch
obi
it
with like a
much.
nice bun. It
Yeah.
looks very elegant.
Interesting. All right, and of course, let's not forget the host of the Black Files, my tech partner for Wrestle Rewind, the man who puts in the hours behind all the videos on this channel every single week, Mr. Juan Arouse.
Thank you for that fine introduction. Jose, don't you ever forget the mister.
And folks, like all our other shows, we are simulcasting on YouTube and Kick. So be sure to hit the
This
subscribe
is
and the
Cyborg.
follow button. Click the notification bells for all our content. Leave your questions and comments below. We'll answer as many as we can. And if you wish to go above and beyond to support the Ravens flock, then you can become an inner flocker. And for $4.99 a month, you'll have access to all the perks that comes with our membership. Juan, tell them.
Well, for all the inner flockers we got in our chat, and I know we have plenty, go ahead and show off those lovely membership badges and custom emojis, letting everybody know that you're here to help rescue the Ravens flock for the clutches of late-stage capitalism to become full-time streamers. Since 2013, we've been working hard, staying strong, making your voice our mission. The only thing standing in our way now is the fact that we have to work 9-to-5 jobs just to keep the lights on. However, there's a way that you can help rescue us from this dismal and terrifying fate that begets us all, but specifically us 6 crazy nerds. And that's something that you guys, fine folks, have been doing this whole time, which is supporting us with your wonderful actions. All you guys need to do is continue supporting us by liking our content, by commenting both during the stream and after the stream. That lets the YouTube algorithm know that that you're enjoying our content and that you want more people to consume it, and it should be spread out even more for complete goal saturation.
Consume.
Sharing our content and sharing our videos to all your friends, family, and loved ones across all of your social media platforms, and anyone who may cross your path who has an affinity for geek culture, nerd culture, pop culture, and everything in between, and of course, subscribing to us, the most important thing of all, and hitting the notification bell to stay up to date on all of our content. And the more you do this, the more people you can bring our way, the more subscribers we'll get, the more inner flockers can come out of that. And before you know it, we don't have to work a regular job anymore because we'll all be finally self-sustaining. I actually did the numbers. At the rate we're going now, it'll take 200 years. Please don't make it take 200 years. For the love of God!
Wait, are we still gonna be streaming when we're like 6
Yes.
feet under?
Welcome to the 150,000th episode of The Rinse Flow. We're talking here from the second side of the River Lethe. Hades, somehow still voiced by James Woods, gave us a, well, he wasn't feeling too angry.
No,
so
you
he
know
let
what'll
us
happen
keep
to us?
podcasting.
Our bodies will die, but our heads will be preserved in jars like Futurama.
Oh hell no!
Oh,
I
God!
am being cremated.
Can
Fuck
I go
that.
to the underworld instead? I don't care if it's Greek and that means that Christianity was wrong. I don't want to be ahead.
But what if they put you in a giant robot body like Richard Nixon?
Do you think that it would be stupid enough to give me that much power?
Yes, they
Yeah,
would.
I would have used
The
it.
future is stupid because history is cyclical because nobody fucking learns their lesson.
Okay,
Remember,
but can I
genetic
be a
purity is a
Jaeger?
lie.
Okay, who all actually, learn from history?
The winners. They wrote it.
Why are you not raising your hand?
I don't want to learn.
Ignorance. Okay.
I
Keep going,
refuse
Juan.
to
Keep
learn
going.
from the
So,
winners.
folks,
'cause
please
they
don't let
lied.
it take 200 years for us to hit the amount of subscribers that we need. With your help, we must get a little bit sooner than that.
Yeah, because otherwise we're going to end up taking the place of Pain and Panic, and you don't want to take those guys' job.
So with your help, we can and will succeed. You also get access to members first and members only content, a special discount to our merch store, link in the description below, and you get access to all of us, the Ravens Flock, your favorite motley crew of nerds, here to make your voice our mission by providing us your thoughts, your input, your feedback, and your ideas to better shape the future of this channel to suit your tastes and needs. I see Haley Ray Scout back in the chat.
Hello.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much for joining us.
Your name
Christopher
sounds like a
Justice
beer
is
brand.
yeeting himself. Christopher Justice, you don't have to keep yeeting. It's all right. You can
Yeet.
stop yeeting.
Yeet.
Kyle Canada in the chat. One of us. One of us.
Also, I'm sorry.
Also
Haley
showing
Ray
off
Stout,
dodos.
Your
Yeah.
name sounds like a brand of fancy beer.
Let me see here.
Okay, listen,
Lisa
I know-
Boo is in the chat. We also have Ulysses Fartknocker in the chat. How's it going? And Nikki Bella also helping hold it down on the mod side. We appreciate you guys for joining us here.
We appreciate all of you, and you guys have been really awesome. And I know we've said this before, but everything that we say, it comes from the heart. And this is very important. As grown-ups, as adults, it is hard for us to maintain the energy that we have. We have to rely on so many things. We have to rely on vitamin
Voodoo.
B12s. We have to rely on coffee,
Illegal
spite,
alchemy.
sleep.
Cocaine.
Committing.
Sleep.
You have a weird
Committing
obsession with
arson without being
crack
detected.
cocaine.
Okay, I know you said sleep, but also naps.
Robots and
Naps.
lasers.
Naps.
Angel
Yes.
dust.
Lasers
Needed.
and robots.
Yeah, the point is that it's becoming
Toilet
hard for us,
wine.
especially since we have to work the average 9 to 5 jobs in our daily lives. So we need something else because our methods of keeping our bodies awake is not helping. We need a different source of energy, and I'm not talking regular energy. I'm talking glitch energy.
That's
Yay.
right, ladies and gentlemen. Just like before, just like today, just like in the future. This is brought to you by the wonderful folks at Glitch Energy, a delicious, nutritious, non-infectious, and 100% good for you issues powder drink that can be combined with several other beverages like tea, juice, milk, and of course the ever reliable water.
H2O.
Absolutely. And it's a smart energy formula that keeps your body running all day long, comes complete with zero sugar, 0 calories, 0 carbs, 0 lags, and of course, 0 crash. And make sure you bookmark this website, glitchenergy.com, so that you can stay up to date with all the new flavors and all the promo announcements and surprising price slashes on their glitch tubs.
For instance, for this weekend only, the Teach iced tea, which is inspired by the streamer Teach Blaze, is currently running at half price.
$17 and 48 cents.
That's just them before any other discount, before anything else. And besides, we're moving to the country. I'm gonna eat me a lot of peaches.
exactly.
Millions of peaches. Peaches for free.
Peaches, peaches,
And-
peaches,
and the
peaches, 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 peaches.
Yeah.
You guys. And the best thing about Glitch is that they also work with you in terms of paying things off because not many of us can afford the full price. Heck, I don't blame us if we can't afford even the slashed prices, but that's okay because they work with you through their Cash App Afterpay.
That's right. If you're a little tight on cash, do yourself a favor and sign up and use their Afterpay service where you just pay for, I believe, their biweekly installments of the full price of your order, and you pay it off 2 weeks at a time, and you get your order right away. So you're getting it first. You're paying it off little by little. No credit check. No nothing.
But they're not the only ones that are helping you.
We
Because
are helping too because
we're-
we're good peoples like that.
That's right. If you go to glitchenergy.com and use our promo code FLOCKFUEL, you will receive a 20% discount on your order, so don't delay. Go to glitchenergy.com. Use our promo code. Get your glitch now.
And one last thing. This promo code will work on the Teach iced
You can
tea.
compound the coupons.
Yeah, it's not a coupon. That's just them flattening the price down.
I was trying to go for alliteration because it sounded better, so thank you for sandbagging my commercial right now.
Damn.
That's what you get.
Don't worry.
Sam
Angel.
Wilson did nothing wrong. How's that?
Oh my God! Drop it, both of you.
Oh, he didn't do anything wrong, I agree. He also didn't do anything right.
So
Neither did John Walker.
No,
Wha-
he did everything right.
we want to thank Glitch Energy for partnering with the Ravens Flock. You guys are awesome, and yeah, no, I don't have anything else to say. I mean, Glitch Energy is great. They're awesome.
It's yummy.
They're yummy.
No,
They're-
genuinely, it's just a damn good product. Like, I already finished. It's been a while since I finished the one I had before, which was the hydration product. The black, it was blackberry lemonade, I think.
Yes, it was from their
Really
Glitch Revive
tasty,
line.
Really good. And you know what? If I may take a moment to be personal with Glitch Energy here,
By all means, go ahead.
I like you guys because you make your sours not too excessively sours, except for a few flavors here and there, like the Carrentiers, which are meant to be sour.
But it's
When
sour
you-
grape.
Yeah, when you say sour sweet, you actually give me a good balance of those two flavors. Because there's a lot of drinks and candies that tell you that they're sour and sweet, but they usually have way too much of one and not enough of the other. You guys have managed to find a good balance in your product, and I enjoy taking it. And as I like to exfoliate several times in a day, if I don't like it, I don't drink it. And if I don't drink it, I don't sell it to you.
What's up, Dragon Fang?
I need more sour.
Okay, so this person is insane because she just eats raw lemon every day, but that's completely
So-
different.
You know what the best
Sour
two ones
and
are?
Spicy.
What are the best two ones?
You dip a
Nerdies.
whole lemon in
Nerdies
sugar,
and on birthday
eat it.
Oh,
Okay,
yes.
then.
Those are yummy.
But on birthday cake,
What the
you
fuck
are
is wrong with you?
required. I know they say you can do it with water. You're required to do it with milk.
Because it tastes
What? I
so
swear to
good
God.
It's
when you do it
perfect.
with milk. Because it's just like the
milk.
best kind of like milkshake style.
Yeah,
kind
just
of
put
thing.
a birthday cake flavor in there and just make like a milkshake.
Well, I'm glad.
Exactly.
Literally.
Wait. Question.
Go on.
Can you add glitch energy to a milkshake?
I
Let me
and-
put it this way.
Do we
and-
have banana flavor in there?
We had it.
and no.
Let me put it this way, Angel. There was a trial. They made one serious problem though.
What's
What?
that?
The trial was happening in someone's backyard.
Ah.
Yeah, you don't want that many
That is
boys in the yard.
Oh my
uh,
god.
to-
Yeah, no, I
with glitch
understand.
energy. Those
Too many,
boys in the
too many
yard,
chefs,
glitched
too
up.
many cooks.
It'd be
My
too
yard
much.
cannot possibly bring that many boys in. I don't have that much
Yeah,
space.
no, it's
No.
it's not it's too much.
Oh my god, you
On the-
both.
it's like the Oppenheimer.
Amateurs.
Guys, I hope you guys are
Amateurs.
enjoying talking about all the deliciousness and tastefulness of Glitch because this first story is about to put a bad taste in your mouth.
Not the good
And-
kind then.
Not
Not the
a
sexy
sour taste, a bad
It's
taste.
gonna be a bitter pill to swallow, one might call it.
Yes, because unfortunately, because we do have an update on the ongoing legal battle between Spooky Empire and Spookala, and
Yeah.
folks,
It's
it's not good.
Now, if you guys may remember, 2 weeks ago on the Ravens Flock, we discussed a situation happening between two rival Central Florida conventions, Spooky Empire and Spookala. Spooky Empire is basically trying to drag Spookala out in court for copyright infringement and for like trying to steal their IP when
Stealing magie.
no, like literally stealing their intellectual property in order to try and make it look as if
They're
Spookala was copying them for the sake of
Which they
stealing-
weren't.
they
It
weren't.
Which, by the
looked
way, if-
different.
Yeah, I was gonna say, folks, if you need a reminder just how different these logos are, Juan's about to pull it up right now.
Like this is literally it.
That's
2
Spooky
weeks
Empire,
ago,
that's
not so
Spookala.
spooky lawsuit.
Listen, apart from the word spook, there is very little in common with these two things.
Very fucking little. Now, the fact that we had to find this shit and it was found in actual legal proceedings on justia.com, it's a fucking nightmare. It's a fucking pain in the butt. Nobody needs to be dealing with this, and it just goes to show that the folks running Spooky Empire, who apparently, according to other testimonies from people throughout the con community here in Florida, has a history of trying to drive other competitors, quote unquote, aka other small timer conventions that are horror themed, and try to drive them out of business by using the shittiest and shadiest tactics that you can. What is it that they did with Phantasm again? Say, remind me.
They advertised false dates of their convention
Straight up
weekend
sabotage.
Yeah, no, they made it look as if they were putting up ads for Phantasm Orlando,
for August when the Phantasm Orlando's convention is actually in November.
and just to fuck with people and to make it
I'm kind of
untenable.
surprised that didn't turn into a lawsuit.
I'm honestly surprised too, but
Because you
that's
think
just
that's the kind of shit you call the lawyers for, right?
you would, but
Yeah.
there's one problem. A lot of these smaller conventions run on a financial deficit.
Uh,
Yeah,
They run
and
off
they
of
don't
pro-
have the money to pursue that.
So basically, you're telling me that
Lawsuits
Spooky
are
Empire
expensive.
is the only one that's made it big enough that they can threaten the other cons with economic downturn.
Unfortunately,
Exactly.
yes. And in this series of
I need to
downturns,
kill things now.
and in this
No.
series of downturns as a result of Spooky Empire, we do have an official statement from Spookala addressing this legal issue.
Now, this comes from the Spookala Facebook group, which, by the way, folks, if you're a cool if you're a cool person, do us all a favor and don't go advertising like trying to join in on Spookala's public page. over here because they had to take their page private as a result of the bullshit that they've been dealing with. So,
All right, so here's their statement, and I quote: "We've been dealing with a few things behind the scenes, and as a growing family-run convention, we made the decision to focus our time and funds on investing in the future of Spookala, putting energy into growing the event, not into a legal battle. First and foremost, our events are here to stay. We're beyond excited for the October convention with more guest announcements coming very soon. However, this Sunday's pop-up market in Ocala will be our last event under the Spookala name. It's also your last chance to grab Spookala branded merch. While we haven't yet found a name that perfectly captures the spirit of Spookala, we're open to suggestions from the heart of our events. You, the fans. If you've got ideas, drop them in the comments. Come on Sunday to shop with our vendors, grab some Spookala gear, take photos with our mascot backdrop, and help us celebrate everything Spookala has been and will continue to be."
So this is obviously extremely depressing. This is really fucked up that this is what had to happen. So basically, as a result of the lawsuit, the Spookala has been has been taken no choice but to change the name of their convention in order to have the fucking deal dropped by Spooky Empire.
Because the other option will be a long, drawn-out legal battle with finances and zeros flying everywhere. And
ones that
honestly,
Spookala can't afford.
I'm pretty sure that Spooky Empire cannot afford it either, but they look bigger.
Yeah.
And if they look bigger, they look like they can afford more.
It's
all
like a
about
cat
vibes.
who just puffs up.
Yeah.
But it's still a bad look for Spooky Empire. It's just like really bad optics for
It's
them.
bullying.
Yeah, it's literally bullying.
Pure harassment
And
bullying.
the worst part is, this is probably not the first time they've done something like this.
No, we
We
just
just
talked about
example.
Phantasm.
This is the
This
dirtiest
isn't
shit.
the first
No,
time.
I mean, they have done, like, this. How long has Spooky Empire been around?
Spooky Empire has been around
A long time.
How many other cons
have tried to
do
come
you
up
think
with
have
like a
tried
spooky
to, like,
name.
barge into the territory or to be shut down by the hammer of the law?
As far as we know,
the
this
system
is
never in your face.
Angel. As far as we know, this is the third convention that that Spooky Empire went after.
The third one, yeah, like you said, as far as we know.
And
And
the
it won't be the last either.
and the crazy fucking thing about it is Spooky Empire is operating out of this fucking assumption that that just because they happen to have grown into this large convention that they are owed a monopoly
Yeah.
on spooky or horror themed conventions in Central Florida, and that I can tell you with beyond a shadow of a doubt is bullshit. It's shenanigans. It is not their exclusive domain. Ain't no one else has said you guys are the lord and master of everything that's spooky in Florida. Fuck you for that entitled thinking.
And you know, it's almost like if like picture this. If Halloween and Halloween Horror Nights try to do that to other smaller events going on.
For instance, Screamageddon.
Yeah.
Which is like a pop-up like mini version of like
Yeah, I know
Halloween
there's
Horror
like
Nights.
several
And then
more
there's,
like
like,
something
also-
path or something. Yeah.
There's others that are like in ships and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like small little
Was it
events like
Dead in the
that.
Water or something?
Oh
Dead in the
no.
Water or
Oh no,
I
they
can't remember
try
what it
to
was.
they try to do that with anything out on the open sea. They can forget about it because
Mhm.
the entire crux of their argument is that it's taken
Yeah, but
from our
it's just like
territory in Florida.
it's just like if they try to do this, I mean, well, they easily won. I mean, you know, it's Universal and Busch Gardens, but it's like it's petty. It's like, okay, let us go. Like, what if we want to go to every single one because we enjoy
We're
that
giving
stuff?
money to everyone.
But no,
Exactly.
it's just greed. It's
That's
greed
because
at
they
this
know
point.
they can't. The truth of the matter is, and the hard reality is that no, we cannot give money to everybody. In fact, we ourselves are already pretty strapped for cash, which is why we haven't been able to go to as many cons as possible. So when
Unfortunately,
you have a very limited amount of people, and there's okay, so we have a con, which is a limited event, for Halloween, which is a limited holiday, for a small location in the Florida, which is a relatively limited state. So you have a very small fan base who is all the same, very dedicated to give you time and money. That means that the competition for that slice of pie is going to be fierce. So the sad thing is, no, I am not surprised that these people will resort to borderline illegal methods just to make sure that they remain the only piggy bank worth putting coins in.
Which
Because
is
the second they start losing fans, or the second they lose regular traffic, that whole operation is gonna fall apart.
which is bullshit, as Juan earlier pointed out. Just because one convention has done it, that doesn't that it shouldn't mean that it's embargo to everyone else.
Oh no, that's the problem. It's because a convention did it and they got away with it.
No, it's worse now because now they feel, oh well, no one can touch us here.
Yeah.
And
So they can just do it again and again.
but there's one little problem with that now. This shit has been made nice and widely public.
Oh.
People know about this now.
Oh.
And everyone and their mother in the con community here in Florida is going to be talking. They're going to be talking about the shady shit Spooky Empire did to Spookala, to Phantasm Orlando. What's the third one to say?
I believe it's called Spooky Nights over in Miami.
Yeah, in Miami!
What the hell is
That's
Miami
200
doing with
fuck
these?
miles away from them!
Wow.
Motherfucker, like, even if you want to argue, like, that Central Florida being, like, Tampa, St. Petersburg, Clearwater, Ocala, Orlando, Daytona Beach, even if you want to make that kind of argument, that is just one whole territory of Florida
Like
that can...
mid-Florida.
yeah, exactly. Like, that can only ever be one horror convention there. Even if you want to make that argument... The moment you cross down to fucking the Miami-Dade County, the moment you get down to the Everglades down there, you fucking lose that argument.
Yeah, there's nothing
that's
scarier than the
southern
actual fucking
Florida.
Everglades. You ever been to that place?
Yes, I
Yeah,
have.
we've
and
been
it's
there
horrible.
before.
Yes.
You
We
put-
went down Alligator Alley together, remember?
You
Angel?
put
It was
one
fun.
foot there. Why is there 20,000 rainbow boas crawling on my butt?
Like, wow. Hi there, snakies.
And then you
They're
randomly,
friendly.
There's
and then you
nothing more
randomly get lost in
Florida,
Okeechobee.
Like, almost running over an
I
alligator.
took 3 steps and I
Several.
brought 5 cotton mouse with me. Help.
Yeah, no, it's fucking horrible. Like, even if you want to make that argument, like you said, if it's in fucking Miami, give me a fucking break. You do not have any kind of fucking leg to stand on, and the only reason that they're getting away with it is because the owner of Spooky Empire happens to have just a little extra scratch to be able to do this shit and go file this stuff in the courtroom. Well, go file this, buddy. Go file away the last red cent that every person who's got any sort of sense and conscience about this stuff who attends your conventions, count that and say goodbye to the rest. You're worried about these guys going out of business because there's too much saturation of the conventions? How saturated is it going to be when their fucking attendance starts dropping like a motherfucker?
Yeah,
'cause
congratulations.
This is bad publicity, man.
Exactly. Nice going. You just you
Shot
you
your
done you done goofed, bitch.
Played yourself.
This is the part that it will know, because that's the kind of shit that hurts, because not only are you scamming your customers basically by taking away their options, you're also scamming like, you're fucking with the bread and butter, man. So now every other con that even gets a wind of this will basically spread the word, and people will know, like, no, we can't trust these guys with anything, because the second
We
it
can't
looks
work
like
with them.
whatever.
Oh, yeah.
We can't work with
Yeah,
these guys.
what if they
Yeah.
ended up really liking Spookala, and they're like, wait, I was gonna go to
Why is
Spooky
it
Empire,
gone?
what? Like,
Yeah.
if they actually shut Spookala down, they'll be like, wait, I don't want to go there then. They're the ones who caused this. No, I like that
They can
place.
potentially lose the war just because
Yeah.
they started a battle they shouldn't have.
Well, I
Exactly.
mean, they lost by winning.
They lost by winning. Yeah. I mean, make no mistake, they're still gonna.
Task has failed successfully.
Something Waterloo.
I mean, make no mistake, they're still gonna have people who will go to Spooky Empire and pay their
Because
pay their
those people
money.
don't know better.
So
have
because
no
they
idea
don't know,
what's going on.
because they don't know better. But the attendance will not be the same.
I'm gonna keep an eye on that, because those numbers are publicly available. When is the
Well,
next?
you
Spooky
should
Empire?
screenshot it before they try and change it. Then
Good idea. When
I
is the next Spooky Empire?
I will look it up, but the point is that with this latest development, like, no, this does not look good for Spooky Empire, and it is.
disappointing.
It's disappointing.
Just left them alone.
It's disappointing. It's disheartening.
It's just greed. That's the main thing. It is greed.
Exactly.
Like, and to what end? Like, okay, so you've got like similar guests, or one guest ends up being booked at the same both
shouldn't
conventions.
matter.
Exactly.
It won't matter because the
You don't own
guests
them.
will make money.
You don't own the guests.
No,
Okay,
you don't own
so-
the guests.
Last year, this year, it was about 15,000. Let's see how much it's gonna be this year.
Let's fucking see how it turns
I'm
out.
gonna
Ben
keep an eye on
Cruz,
those
hey up, Ben
numbers.
Cruz. Welcome to the Ravens Flock and the Joseph Santos. Drink glitch or you share a cell with Diddy.
Oh
Yeah.
no!
Yeah, Well, see, somebody was gonna. They can't, because
Case.
every time they try to walk in, they
Musa.
slip on baby oil and they just fly out cartoonishly.
Yahoo!
Thank
Not
you for the goofy laugh.
The guards can't even check on him because there's just so much oil. It's like a domain expansion of baby oil.
Oh my god.
Ryoishi Kentai.
Baby oil.
Baby oil.
Sinister Knights is the name of the convention over in
Sinister
Miami.
Knights was the name.
Come on, that doesn't even have the name spooky on it.
Exactly.
But it's Halloween based, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no.
This is so stupid.
Sinister Knights had to cancel because all their guest stars had to cancel all their guests by threatening to blackball them from the entire con community here in
Wait, so,
Florida.
yes, because Spooky threatened to blackball them.
What?
Essentially,
Blackball their guests. You gotta be fucking
Yeah,
kidding me.
It makes it so the guests can't go anywhere else.
Exactly.
By the way, you know who else tried to do that shit?
Who?
SAG-AFTRA.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Recently, their reputation was destroyed because somebody examined their documentation and they found out that, okay, the original paces, better payment, more protections, anti-AI, pretty good. And then the bastards got greedy and they put a clause under it that basically goes, the companies can only hire us though.
Yes.
And if you work for somebody else, you get walled out of the role after one performance.
Ouch.
Ow.
They kind of shot their own cause in the foot real bad. And
They kept shooting.
Hang on a minute. Christopher Justice, thank you for following us on Facebook. You are awesome. And Ben Cruz saying, prepping for my trip to MomoCon next weekend. My
Hey,
body is
enjoy
ready.
yourself.
Yay.
Hey.
Well, yeah,
Please enjoy MomoCon extra for us.
Yeah, but this is very
So enjoy it
clearly
extra for 6 people.
a case of they trying to use copyright to just bludgeon the competition away because they fear competition. Because when it comes to such a small niche con, because 15,000 people is big from a normal point of view. For a business that size, that is barely enough to keep going. You start losing people, shit falls apart very quickly, and that can lead people to take some drastic measures. And at some point, you basically go, if the only way I can fight the competition is by destroying the competition, I will do it. Some unscrupulous bitches out there, man.
I got almonds.
I agree.
Give me a second. I have almonds.
Oh my God. This tastes great. Sorry, I hate getting distracted, but
Damn, you guys are really gobbling those nuts, huh?
Can I have some of them nuts to crunch on?
Sure.
I'm sorry.
That's
I'm
a
sorry.
lot of nuts! You want some fries with that?
They just left
Hey.
with nuts.
Thank you.
They're almonds.
So the moral.
Cinnamon praline almonds.
So the moral of the story is: listen, competition between conventions is
Thank you for
important
your
and
crunchy
needed.
brown nuts.
Thank them.
Yeah, thank them.
Thank you for letting me chew on your crunchy brown nuts.
Anyways, so guys, the moral of this whole story is that competition between conventions is important because it forces the conventions to actually, step up their game and do something more exciting. And it's good for everybody. Everybody wins. Don't be stagnant. And these legal battles, these petty grudges that's carried out is completely unnecessary and it damages your reputation.
Don't be like you were back in high school. Come on.
Don't.
Grow up.
Modern
be
problems
adults.
require modern solutions.
You know what you
What
do?
if
This
I
is
just remove the
literally high
competition?
school behavior.
You
This
know what
is
it
high
rem-
school drama.
You know what it actually reminds me of?
What is it?
When Omni Fandom Expo was initially brought up before it became just a singular convention of its own.
Oh man, it's been a while since I heard that name.
When Omni Fandom Expo was originally brought up, it was done so with the idea of let's get a bunch of different conventions together, highlight our events, give people a small taste of what each convention is for, as a cooperative, as a way to actually helps promote every convention in a way that that gives people an idea of understanding.
A sampler.
Yeah,
A sampler
example.
platter. There you go.
Oh, that works.
Taste
Thank you.
test.
It was a con expo.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually,
That's the
it
name.
was hence the name. It was Omni Expo.
However,
But how? Yeah,
Play to thrill.
obviously the age of those cons saturating out kind of fizzled pretty fast back in the mid 2010s. Unfortunately, a lot of them just the less I say the better. But also big things on the horizon.
Big things on the horizon.
but then Omni Expo just became another
It
convention.
became its own convention and unfortunately whittled out on its own. But I'm not even referring to that. I was just referring to the idea of basically rising tides raise all ships.
Mhm.
If you don't fuck around with each other, try to drive each other out of business, then guess what? Each convention makes money. The vendors make money. The guests make money.
Everyone's happy.
The
guests
attendees
make memories.
Yeah, no,
guests
the
make memories.
attendees, we win.
Yeah, like the special guests and vendors.
It's a
they-
win-win situation. at that
It's
point.
fucking exactly.
The problem is, it is not. I must disagree with all of you in this case.
What's
How
up?
so?
It is a win-win for us because we get more options, but corpos don't want you to have more options. Their idea of winning You gotta understand how this works. You're thinking from the mentality of a customer. More is better. Yes, but this is the mentality of a corporation. And for them, the less you have is the less you'll think of going somewhere else.
Okay, but
Because if they become the only source of the thing you want, then they don't have to worry about anything.
okay, but also these
have
are only
options.
once a year too.
Exactly.
So what are they gonna do? Make them be like multiple times per year?
That is why they're so desperate. for
Megacon
it.
tried.
Because it is once a year, they know how limited their window of opportunity is.
People still will go to other cons though. You can't stop them from
Yeah, I
doing
know.
that.
But if you make it the only Halloween con that is easily available,
People actually would travel for
yeah,
that.
they would.
They do.
They
And
would.
they will travel
But
for it.
most people won't. Remember, it's not about making the best store in the country. I just want to make a Walmart. You have no choice but to go to Walmart. You know what I mean?
If I'm being
Not because
forced to go to them, then I'll probably not go to them in
Well,
that
yeah.
case.
The problem is that there's no other store that sells that food you want.
Then I'll just go to, you
You're
know, one
getting
of
the
the
brown
events.
nuts in Walmart and nowhere
Then
else.
you know what? I'll go
Or-
to an event.
Order it online.
Okay, the thought. Okay,
Remember, the corpos don't want to be a competition or a conglomerate. They want to be the Walmart. They want to, yeah, they know there'll be other options, but they want to be the convenient option. You have no choice because you will feel like you don't. That's what their idea of winning is. Is basically putting the shackle, the branded shackle on you with a Walmart brand and telling you you're gonna buy here for the rest of your goddamn life.
Yeah,
Angel.
nope.
I mean, Juan. Do you concur?
Sadly, I am forced to understand and acknowledge, even if I don't agree.
Trust me, I don't like it either.
I know exactly what that's like, and yeah, it's the whole thing of like It doesn't matter if I make the best burgers, but if I sell a shitload of McDonald's burgers, that means I'm making more money than you.
Quantity has a quality of its own. And if I show
Even
a
though-
mountain in front of your face, you won't care if it's a mountain of shit. It's still a mountain.
Well, I guess we're in agreement. Spooky Empire is indeed a mountain of shit.
Oh, no, never in doubt. 100%.
Yeah, no,
100%.
100%.
Not even good shit either. No.
No.
false on that one.
God,
Now, before we move on to the story, let's take a look at the chat here.
copyright is such a pain in the ass, says Kyle.
Yes, it
let's
is.
see here. I just followed you guys. Yep, yep, yep. Preparing my trip. Yep, yep. What's your favorite NFL team? We're not really footballers.
We're not. We don't follow football.
Let
I
me see.
barely follow baseball.
Sorry, the only sport we know here
Matthew-
is wrestling.
Matthew Coburn in the chat. You want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts.
Ah.
I can't believe E3 is dusted, says Haley Ray Stout. Sadly, you're right. It's been dusted for a while, though, unfortunately.
Kyle Cannon says, with less I think they're trying to say competition. With less competition comes a monopoly of the industry,
Yes.
and therefore will for patrons to pay overly excessive prices.
And Ben Cruz brings something up over here even
Charge
more.
whatever they want.
Guys, look.
And Ben Cruz brought this up too. Like this year, Holiday Matsuri is in the same weekend as Anime Weekend Atlanta. And so people are choosing. Yeesh. Tough choice.
Ooh.
They wouldn't
We're
have had to
forced
choose
into
if,
that
you
date.
know, they were able to get December dates.
Yeah.
But they
They
can't
were
get December
forced
dates.
into that date.
Wait, who was forced into December dates? Wait,
No, Hallmark can't have December dates.
Why not?
wait, what?
Is it like a holiday thing?
What?
Wasn't it booked?
What's our favorite kind of movie?
I mean, remember that one? That's a difficult one. Personally, I prefer martial arts films, but I like a broad range of it. Like, my two favorite films that I hold, like, right up there are the first Matrix and The Mask with Jim Carrey.
For me, that's a bit of a mixed bag. Like, I'll have to get back to that question later.
I like movies, period.
Yeah.
Actually, no, there's one movie I don't like. Sky Captain and the World is Tomorrow.
Oh God, that movie's bad.
It was
wasn't a
boring.
movie, that was an experiment in psychological torture.
No, it was just boring. That's worse.
The crime of inaneness.
Hang on a minute. Actually, no. Speaking of bad movies, what's a bad movie that Dragon Fang and Zayana Rose that both of you really, really dislike? Like Juan says, Sky Captain: The World of Tomorrow. What's your bad? What is the bad movie
Your
that you
least
dislike?
favorite film.
Your least favorite film. Okay. What about you?
That's a tough one. There's been films that I dislike, but I cannot imagine a film that I truly, absolutely, like, hated to the point that the
Saw.
mere...
All the,
the
Saw
first Saw-
ones.
yeah,
All the Saw movies. Okay.
Not a fan of horror, I presume?
No, it's just gore just for gore and everything. I honestly, there's nothing tasteless about it.
Oh,
I mean,
fair
there's
enough.
nothing tasteful about it.
Sis, you remember going to the movie theater and watching Beowulf.
Okay, Beowulf was much better than the Saw movies. It actually was at least decently amusing.
But it was stupid.
It was stupid, but it was amusing.
Okay, I can
All right,
work with
Angel. So you said that you have a long. All right,
that.
pick
I'm just
one.
gonna like narrow that down. A
Actually-
film that I truly disliked, like I really hated. I can't think of one right now. There's films that I didn't like, I suppose, but not one that I hated. No, not even that one, honestly.
Well, we'll bring that. That's actually next over here in a
So
second.
I'll let you know if I remember it, but if I did, it's been a long time.
Christopher
All right.
Justice likes Chucky. Chucky's cool.
Chucky's really good.
It's fucked in the head.
Just that I hated Chucky.
Oh, it's fucked in the head, but we're cool with it.
We just don't like dogs.
Okay,
Wait,
that
no,
one
I
is
find out which one I
better
dislike
than
the most.
Wait,
Saw.
what is it? What is it?
I know it was a parody, but it was too sorry to be a parody. I don't like Bruno.
Oh!
It started with a dancing, singing penis.
Yeah. And at that point, then you're like, I know you're trying to do, but the parody is too disturbing for me to care. I'm good. Thank you.
And speaking of bad movies,
It left a bad taste in my mouth.
Then you clearly have never
Don't
seen.
like these nuts.
Yeah. Well, the nuts are. Those nuts.
Dragon Ball Evolution. Oh
You know
no!
what? I actually never seen Dragon Ball Evolution.
You're better off.
I know I am. I'm happy I did
Why
it.
did they have to bring that up?
I've seen it.
Ben brought it up.
On the bright side, it gave us Dragon Ball Super because Toriyama was so disturbed by that movie that he came out of retirement just to make more Dragon Ball.
It wasn't even Dragon Ball Z.
It was just Dragon Ball Evolution. It wasn't Dragon Ball Z.
It wasn't even Dragon Ball. What was the whimsy, man?
It's just weird.
What was the comedy? What was the
It was
joy?
just slapping the Dragon Ball.
Chow
I
Yun
don't
Fat
like
tried
it.
too hard.
Yeah,
There.
Dragon Balls got slapped, all right.
Well, since we were bringing up movies that we're not the biggest fans of, I am here to report to you that it's
Whoops.
Ipsy Dipsies.
Oh boy.
This is coming from Cosmic Book News over here, so you can take this with a grain of salt. But you know what? This will still give me some joy in
It's
my
a
heart.
pretty big grain of salt.
Go
It's
for
like
it.
It's like a rock.
Zack
Oh.
Snyder's Rebel Moon franchise is officially
Did.
Damn.
Did.
Like that.
Was it even born? It didn't go
Mom
anywhere.
liked Rebel Moon.
I'm sorry.
Damn, it could have gone the distance. It didn't go as long as the Snyder cut of the Justice League.
Like, you know, the what was it the bird?
Yeah.
What's up?
No, the griffin. Was it?
Yeah.
In the
That was
first
the only
one,
good part.
that one was nice because I was like, "Oh, I really like that." That's the only reason why we watched it with mom because that
Oh,
we
because
just
they had a
watched
pretty
for
bird.
that animal.
After
That
that
was
part, we're
it,
like,
and we're like,
Everything
meh.
else was meh.
Yeah.
Alright, so you guys can take this with a grain of salt if you want, but you know what? This still fills me with a little bit of joy, and it lets me poke fun at the Snyder cultists. And you were talking, Zay, about how the Snyder Cut of Justice League lasted longer. Yeah, no, this is the two Rebel Moon movies and the two director cut Rebel Moon movies of the
course
Rebel
there
Moon
were.
movies. Because of course there was. Because Netflix couldn't had to keep him from his glorious vision. Yeah,
They were longer than this.
longer.
Does it feel to you guys like Zack Snyder should just be making TV series instead? Because when he did that animated one, that one came out pretty solid when he had the episodes to space out the plot. The movie feels like he's just trying to cram too much into one thing.
I think the
That's because
2000
he's
as
that's
much
because he thought he could get away with it all with the Snyder Cut of Justice
It's
League.
too
I was
much.
gonna-
But it's a blank
Got-
check to keep making long shit.
I was gonna say, I think his work in 2011, Sucker Punch, despite it being my guilty pleasure, is a sign that Zack Snyder is losing his touch.
He's not guilty about
Now
it.
I'm
at all.
telling
He
you,
doesn't feel bad
he
at all.
can do good under certain circumstances. Because I saw the animated series he did with the Gods of North. It was good. It was solid. And more importantly, it was spaced out. The plot had time to breathe, to actually organize itself. But instead of doing TV series, he just keeps cramming this big overdone. He's cooking too much. Get him out of the kitchen. He's
The-
supposed to be making breakfast, not a 5-course dinner.
You mean
And
he's burning
here's the
himself?
problem: the
Everything is
5-course dinner that
stuffed.
the 5-course dinner that he made, he ended up like what's one of the few cardinal sins in the culinary arts?
Turducken. But with like octopus.
No, that's a monstrosity of guilty pleasure, just like Jose's love of Sucker Punch. But what's actually important is you don't want to have too much of anything,
Yes.
but you don't also want too much of
Little.
everything.
Yeah, it's too
Zack
ingredients.
Snyder puts too much of everything
The
No,
steak
too
is
much
into
overseasoned.
everything,
This-
which yes,
Poured too much salt on
The
Put
it.
too
steak
much
is
salt.
good,
Now
but
it's
it's way
salty.
too overseasoned.
Imagine
It's too salty.
imagine taking a nice porterhouse cut of steak. And usually what you want to do, maybe make yourself a blend of cumin, of pepper, kosher salt, and maybe just a little bit of powder, like
A
garlic and
pinch
onion
of
powder.
paprika.
It-
What's a pinch?
Yeah. Now, you want that. You want to mix it up first, and then you want to massage it into each
Yep.
side of the porterhouse, and then you grill that baby up on this. Now, the way Zack Snyder cooks,
He's trying to make epic mealtime.
no. It's worse than epic mealtime. This beautiful porterhouse cut of a steak. Now, he's got a whole canister of cumin, a whole canister of kosher salt, of pepper, of paprika, of
So he just dumped that
Yeah.
shit on
dump
there.
that shit on there.
There is
on-
a solid shell
and
of
then-
spices, and you gotta dig for like half
and then
a
he
foot to
uses
find the meat.
and then he uses a sand blower, like the one of those, and you use that to massage it
A
in.
belt sander.
A belt sander. That's what I'm thinking.
I
Sander.
love
Yeah.
belt sanders.
Like you get a belt sander to massage those spices into both sides,
By the time
and
it's done,
then
it's
he
a
just
block.
and then at that point, instead of putting it on a grill, he cracks open a nuclear reactor, sets it inside the reactor water, where that's like the old ass fucking reactor, like the water cooler
the
designs.
Chernobyl juice.
Yes, the Chernobyl juice, and then close it, lifts the rods up to, halfway, and then shuts them back down, and then pulls it out. And
The
that's
worst
his
part
tip.
is that it's still edible at the end, but you don't want to know what's in there inside too.
No,
All right.
it's edible if you want to eat leukemia.
Oh, nobody
I
wants to do that.
mean,
No, you don't, Angel.
I
As suicidal as you
mean-
may be, like, and trust me, this is coming from the
Those
guy who's.
tumors look pretty chewy.
No, you don't, you goddamn insane person. Let's move to the article. Jesus.
Please, for the love of God. Okay.
Fear and
All right.
loathing in the ICU.
We'll get to the chat later. Let's get to the article.
Okay, thank God.
This was
all right,
published on May 15th by Matt McGloin.
Yep, okay. And what should come as no surprise, the writer of Zack Snyder's is Rebel Moon confirms the movies are dead at Netflix and there will be no more sequels. Snyder released Rebel Moon in two formats, similar to some of his previous movies, such as Batman v Superman and Justice League. A shortened PG-13 version wanted by Netflix, and then his intended R-rated director's cut versions. However, they mega-bombed. Ha!
Whoops.
Okay, so following the release of the first PG-13 Rebel Moon, the critic and fan response wasn't good. 22% Rotten Tomatoes from critics, 56% from fans. Of course, that led to a huge drop in viewership for Rebel Moon Part 2, as well as the director cut versions. So that means Rebel Moon's as good as dead on Netflix. Rebel Moon's writer Kurt Johnstead recently appeared on the 1 Minute Men podcast, revealing it will take a miracle for more movies, effectively confirming it's dead.
Yep.
Quote: "We outlined movies 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Jesus Christ.
Very detailed outlines, and Zach has literally plotted out the whole world. We know where we can go. We've written detailed outlines. The second movie was to find the princess, and the third movie is to make sure that the princess is where she should be, sitting on the throne and properly ruling over the mother world.
So
With some luck and an act of God, we'll get to that back. We'll get to go back to that world.
Maybe they should have tried making part 1 good before working on 2, 3,
Yeah,
4, 5,
what
6,
you
7,
want
8,
to
9,
do
10,
for
A,
this
B,
is
C, D, E,
you
F.
make it so you can kind of
Make it a
on-
series, like you
yeah.
said.
Yeah, make it a series.
It genuinely could have worked as a TV show. I
But
believe so.
for this, it's like don't put
Season.
too much that then you have so many loose threads at the end. Do a little bit of a
Don't let plot
cliffhanger,
holes.
and that leave people actually wanting, like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen next? This is amazing.
See,
Not
the benefit
You know
of a
what
TV
is
series,
this?
especially one on Netflix, is that you can make 1-hour episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So you can get like 6 to 7 hour episodes that you can allow Zach to put all the crazy shit he wants, and more
Yeah.
importantly, he can space it. So it will give
Yes.
time people to digest, to understand. And you know what?
to look
Okay,
forward.
You
maybe
can't just cram everything.
maybe he wouldn't get nearly as many fans as he still wanted to, because that thing is just basically Team Star Wars.
Yeah, I
But-
was gonna say
Not
Star
even
Wars.
good. Not even good Team Move Star Wars. We had the last Starfighter, which was better Team Move Star Wars. We had freaking who was it who made the fucking the other Dune mini TV series? It was by not Paul Verhoeven. It was
I
Who
don't know
was
which one that is. I'm sorry.
Me neither. You're the only one that knows.
oh my god, my brain. Point is that was a better Star Wars than it, and that came out before Star Wars because it was not about a book of Star Wars.
You know
and it
what
came
was
out
amazing?
Battlestar Galactica was a better Star Wars.
You know what was a better to Star Wars?
What?
What?
Spaceballs.
Spaceballs.
That was just an
It
incredible.
was a comedy, but it was beautiful.
To be fair, though, many of these are actually better than what current Star Wars was.
No,
Andor.
Spaceballs is a glorified, amazing tribute.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
And it's
But I
beautiful.
digress.
It's literally a comedic parody. It's
Going back to
beautiful.
the previous point,
Beautiful.
the fact that if you could allow him to put all the crap he wants to, but space it properly
Yes.
over several episodes, it will give him both A, the time to properly structure the story so it doesn't turn into a goddamn mess near the end again, and more importantly, it's an actual win-win. The crowd gets a long-lasting science fiction series that they can enjoy, and he gets to properly organize his thoughts and not put everything into one
not get things
fucking
canceled.
film
Yes.
and just cram everything into one pot and make the worst stew in the world.
And then make it all confusing.
Like the worst part is we have proof of it.
Giant clusterfuck.
He made that animated series I keep talking about, which was actually solid. The violence was great. The music was awesome. The characters were cool. The tragedy overall was actually pretty good. And the end, which literally has Odin trapped to the Yggdrasil tree, seeing like how the prophecy actually shows the okay, you know what? I'm gonna spoil it because it's been a while. The series is out. Do you know what Ragnarok actually was supposed to be?
Twilight of the Gods.
No, yeah. It was supposed to be some big war, a great conflict. The reason why Odin fell into despair is because it wasn't a big fight.
It was just end.
It was the end. You know what the vision showed him?
What?
A Christian church.
Ah!
Whoa!
Because
damn.
turns out, just
What
like in real
tis.
life, many Vikings converted to Christianity when they were shown mercy by their conquerors.
Somewhere out there,
Poor Sue.
somewhere out there, Ian McShane's portrayal of Odin in American Gods is laughing his dick off.
Yeah, because that's what he saw. He basically saw, you don't die with a bang. You
With a
willingly
whimper.
convert. And it shows a human, implied to be Jesus, caressing Odysseus' face with mercy. And to a man that only knows war, being shown mercy is the greatest humiliation he could deal with. And that's why Odin couldn't deal with it, because he saw the end of everything he was, and it was a surrender. And the series builds up the whole thing over the episodes and the fights really well, because they gave him time to cook and they took away all the excessive ingredients.
Here's one
They
thing.
need to give him time. No, I take it back. He needs to give himself time. Otherwise, he just keeps screwing up like
Here's the
this.
problem, Angel.
What?
It's the format that he can't
It's
handle.
the fault.
Let me
Yeah,
just
no, this is his fault. I'm not like.
let me just ask you. You're a director. You make movies. What sounds better to your personal resume? Filmmaker Zack Snyder or television series producer Zack Snyder?
Yeah, no, it's obviously everybody wants the Oscar, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody wants the Oscar.
He wants to climb that mountain, Angel.
I don't want to. You
Bitching.
know what? I'm gonna stick with TV series. I don't want to touch Hollywood. That
Yeah,
place
and
is
that's the thing for us. We like TV series because again, it gives it time to
Yeah.
cook. It's longer, and you can
Imagine
fit
if they
so
tr-
much more in there rather than
It's not a
Okay.
clusterfuck.
movies.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
imagine-
the problem is the movie is the Big Bang.
Yeah.
You know, like the TV series is the course meal. The movie is the big fancy dessert. And
It could
turns
be
out
the
that
big
we're all
fancy
still
as long
your
as
children.
it's
We just
done
want like
right.
fucking cake every day.
Now imagine if we were to take both seasons of Star Wars Andor, which came out as 12, is in the total of 24 1-hour episodes. Now imagine if you were to try to take all of that storytelling
Impossible.
and cram it into a 2.5
There is
hour movie.
literally not enough time to get all the plot
Impossible.
points across.
That's what Zack Snyder's trying to do.
It don't work.
And because
wait,
of
wait.
his self-indulgence, his sorry behind can't get behind it all, he crams in like 90 minutes of slow-mo just for his own ego.
It's
So-
no good, Cap.
Picture this. How many seasons does Lucifer have again? 7?
7.
They got a lot of work in
There's
there.
no fucking way they can make that into
For the record, the
movies.
Lucifer the comic was fairly long. Not
Yeah.
like very long, but
Mm,
it had like double-digit issues. You cannot cram all of that in one film.
I know.
It doesn't. That's the reason why the Constantine movie wasn't a good Constantine movie.
Yep.
Because there is so much lore to John and so many enemies he fights and friends that he continuously keeps screwing over by mistake.
Like a dope.
Yeah, so you got a decent science fiction horror film, but it was not a good John Constantine movie.
Okay, but it was a cool Keanu Reeves movie.
It
Oh,
was a
absolutely.
cool-
People have come around to
It
that.
made me
and-
feel sorry for seeing Shia LaBeouf die horribly for a minute there.
I'm not sorry. I want
I
more of
was.
that.
Oh my god, you guys are fucking. Yeah, Shia LaBeouf is. But
I
that-
had
it's still-
empathy for his terrible death. You're
But he's
right,
a good-
John.
That shit ain't
Shia
terrible.
LaBeouf's a
That shit
good
was
guy.
cartoonish.
There are no miracles.
The thing is, Shia LaBeouf himself is is an alright guy. He's pretty
Listen, at
effed
least
in
he's
the
in committing
beans.
crimes right now.
Thank goodness.
Fair
He's-
point.
He's only mildly insane, and I'll take that as an improvement over the average Hollywood star.
All right, let's continue
Yeah,
on with.
looking at you, looking at looking at you, homeboy.
Not a
fucking-
real cannibal, Shia LaBeouf. Hasn't done any
I'm
crimes, Shia
so-
LaBeouf. Still a clean record, Shia LaBeouf.
Not
even
Ezra Miller,
DUIs, Shia LaBeouf.
Not Ezra
Miller, Shia LaBeouf. Would like to shake your hand, Mr. Shia LaBeouf.
Yes,
All
we
right, let's
You still
continue
get
with
to
the
have a beer
article.
with Mr. Shia LaBeouf.
The article's pretty much just finishing off over here.
All right,
It says
fuck
what's next for Snyder? Snyder and Johnstad have now taken an opposite approach to their next project. Instead of a big cosmic scale space opera, they've been granted with an LAPD police series in development on Netflix.
I
Snyder
don't
is also
like
stepping.
police ones. I'm sorry.
Snyder is also stepping into the octagon and directing Brawler, a film about a mixed martial artist who gets his big shot at the UFC championship but is riddled with inner demons.
Wow.
Zack Snyder is
Hang on,
also
hang
spotted
on.
with James Gunn, but that doesn't seem to be about anything new for DC. It said that that Gunn has a Snyder cut joke in his Superman movie. Cool.
Ironically, I think Zack could work really well with Gunn because Gunn
Didn't they
would be
work
able-
together before?
Yeah, because Gunn could rein in some of Zack's worst habits, and Zack would be able to put in some proper drama in between all the comedy. Well, they are friends in real life, so
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
could do
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, tell that to the Snyder cult. They won't. They don't care.
Bro, no, do not. Listen, if I interpreted Zack and James through the eyes of the cult, those two would be trying to murder each other on the spot.
Oh yeah, no, they keep calling James Gunn a pedo.
Why?
And,
Because he made those really bad jokes like a few years ago?
like more like 15 years ago, but yes,
That's it?
yeah,
Wow.
that's it. And they say that that's the reason why,
Like,
and
the
that
jokes were bad, but
and
it's
that
not
they
like he
need
was
to
committing crimes.
restore the Snyderverse and all this stupidity.
Not even
and,
Zack wants to restore
No,
the Snyderverse.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't
Henry
care.
Cavill is playing the Highlander. He's good.
He's the Highlander. He's got
Highlanding.
40K. He is building his computers and being the biggest
He's
himbo of all time.
playing space. You know what? Space
Space
Marine.
Marines.
We gotta play that here sometime.
Like,
Yes,
but
we
in all truthfulness over here, at the end of the day, how badly are they going to be reacting now that with this happening with Rebel Moon, which is supposed to be the global phenomenon of Zack Snyder and all, like the way that these
More like a
idiots are-
global catastrophe.
they now what are they going to say? That what? It's Amazon. That it's Netflix's fault. And that they should
Netflix didn't give him all the time and budget he needed to realize
Honestly,
his vision.
I'll
okay?
I'll be honest. I don't even remember the names in Rebel Moon.
See, that's the problem.
I already forgot how the movie ended.
I haven't watched
What
it.
movie ending? What ending? He
Yeah.
ended it on a
Oh
cliffy.
no! They were gonna be going back to the planet.
They were? You sure?
Okay.
Maybe.
It's
All I
Are
know
we
is
gaslighting
apparently they
ourselves
did
into
go back
remembering
there
this
because
movie?
I remember the robot thing was there.
also Ray
No,
Fisher.
they did. They
Ray
did.
Fisher.
Yes.
Okay then.
And then she taught them how to fight.
Oh,
All right,
Look-
now
Yeah.
moving on from that crap,
Oh,
like
we're getting
let's
to-
get to the live chat before we get to the next
see.
story.
Let's see. Christopher Justice. Oh, come on. Nah. No.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
He's like Christopher Justice saying that the worst movie of all time is Five Nights at Freddy's.
Listen, everyone's entitled to their opinion.
I didn't saw it, so I was.
I
Wally's
didn't see
Wonderland
it.
is awesome.
I was
Yeah,
watching the
yeah.
better version, which is Willy's Wonderland.
Willy's Wonderland.
Willy's Wonderland was the motherfucking bomb.
I
big
like
per-
the idea.
Love
Of,
it.
okay, how do we improve this horror franchise? We drop Doom Guy in there.
Oh my lord.
It just happens to look like Nicolas Cage, but it's just Doom Guy.
Hang on a minute. Matthew Corbett
Matthew
saying
Corbett.
a big percent of people turned the Snyder cut off after 5 minutes.
LOL.
Oh.
I sat through all 4 hours of it when it first came out on HBO Max. 4 hours. Like an idiot. Like the masochist that I am.
Okay, you know what I would watch 4 hours?
What?
Mm.
Actually, no, wait. How long are the Lord of the Ring ones?
Like 3.5 hours.
Yeah, those
Rather
sound.
watch those,
Yeah, those are better.
Well,
Yeah.
you know
Rebel
why?
Moon
Yeah.
films get eaten into the brine. Ha!
I'll tell
Ray
you
Fisher
what.
and Rebel Moon sounded like Blood Count from Bugs Bunny.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Do you know why you're willing to watch Lord of the Rings?
Why?
I'll
Why?
tell
It's
you
actually
why.
good.
Because the chemistry between the characters feels like it's proper. When Bilbo Baggins, when
Frodo.
Frodo meets Gandalf, and you see the greeting between two of them,
Yeah,
you
the
go,
chemistry.
I've
Yeah.
only seen these people for 15 seconds. I believe they are lifelong friends
Yeah,
who care for
yeah.
each other very much.
Yeah.
And more importantly, it speaks to something deep inside of you.
You're
There's
late.
a hunger in the human heart that yearns for only one thing, and you know what that is? Romance. I don't mean romance in the sense of falling in love with another person. I
It's-
mean romance in
It's camaraderie.
the sentimental feeling of an adventure. An epic journey with your friends to save the world from evil is one of the most oldest, well-known tales in history. The greatest works of fiction that stick deep in your heart and soul. Heart and soul are the ones about quite simply the adventure, the hero's journey. Listen, people mock
And
it
so-
now because they are poisoned by irony, but there's a reason we respect the knight in shining armor. People want heroes. But that's why they're so excited for the new Superman movie. Because we want to see the big blue sky tell you that everything is fine because he is here.
Exactly.
Hells yeah, man.
Just like All Might. Like
Yes.
fucking like what do you call it?
Literally, yes.
The
Like,
movies I can't stand are the Twilight movies. They literally give me headaches.
Oh yeah, no,
according
I
to
don't
Cop
like
Canada.
Twilight. So
I
yeah,
understand.
yeah.
Rebel
Yeah.
Moon ripped off Star Wars, Battle
At least they had
Beyond,
that
The
hot
Stars,
red
and
hair
Firefly.
chick.
Yeah, no, they did. Matthew Coburn. Let's see. Zach is the Will It blend of AAA directors.
Lucas
Luke is
is
laughing. Lucas doesn't care. He's
Okay,
loaded.
Yeah, no, the mummy. Yeah, no.
The
we don't
Tom
talk
Cruise
about
that one was
mummy.
bad.
We
The Tom
do
Cruise-
Oh!
Don't
Fun
talk
fact,
about
fun
that
fact, fun
shit.
fact,
That
fun
one
fact,
was pretty
fun
bad.
fact. Sophia Boutella,
Yeah.
the lead actress
Who
in
plays
Rebel Moon,
Princess?
she's Tom Cruise's mummy.
The Princess Aminette.
His actual mom?
No, the mummy.
Tom Cruise's mummy
Huh.
The mummy that Tom Cruise fights.
Wow.
in the Tom Cruise Dark
Princess
Universe
Aminette.
Damn,
You
girl.
can never tell.
Is this why Tom Cruise keeps making those Mission Impossible movies?
The thing is, it's really sad because she was also Jayla in Star Trek Beyond.
Damn.
You know, the third J.J. Abrams one where she's the alien. who's- That's her. You know, she did great in there.
Yeah.
She was Tom Cruise's mummy, so and then she's the head of the lead of Rebel
She
Moon.
did
So
not have luck in the I mean, I hope she got paid, but damn.
Oh,
girl.
no,
No,
she
no,
got
listen,
paid.
listen.
she got
The-
Netflix money. She got
Guys, listen. Princess Aminette, the look of the character looks cool.
Fantastic.
The only problem is everything about her doesn't
The
make any
actual
goddamn
character
sense.
Is a walking cardboard bag.
paid. Let me see. Spaceballs is an amazing movie,
Is this
parody
the
or not.
reason why Tom Cruise keeps
Damn right.
making those Mission
Oh, wait,
Impossible
what
movies?
is
He's
your
trying to
guys'
compensate
favorite
for this.
video game of all
What's
time?
our favorite
Okami.
video game?
He's trying to
Okami.
remain relevant as the
Okami.
cool guy
Star
that
Wars
can
Rebel
still
Strike.
do
Devil
stunts.
May Cry 3.
Favorite video game of all time.
Oh, me?
Yes.
Wow.
Wait, Star Wars Rogue Squadron 1 for N64. That's my favorite.
Oh, okay.
All
No. I'm
Even with
just.
Shadows of the Empire.
I'm trying. I gotta think really hard about this.
Do
It's a
several?
wrestling game, isn't it?
Shadow
No,
of the
no, no.
Hedgehog. For
Star Wars Episode 1 Racer.
Ah.
Okay,
That's
you
a
got
good
me there.
one.
Let's see. NES games called Cyber Stadium Series. Base Wars. Play baseball with cyborgs.
Yeah, I remember that
I
one.
can't stop laughing at that scene when Barf got his foot smashed by the statue. Ha. Yep. Let's see. TV is the repeating thrust. The movie is the warm. Is the warm bam. Thank you. The wham bam. Thank you, ma'am. My favorite movie is Fast and Furious.
Fast and
That
Furious.
movie's great. Also,
They were stealing TVs, man.
to get into the
Remember
next.
when they were just stealing TVs and now
TVs
they're
with
launching
no,
cars
no.
in space?
TVs with VHS tape players included.
Ooh, the
Oh,
fancy ones.
That's right. Now, folks, to get into the next story, let's be real with ourselves. Let's not lie about ourselves. We are all filthy, dirty heathens. And
Speak for yourself. I'm a saint.
oh my!
Bullshit! I have seen your internet history, Angel.
Bullshit.
Bullshit.
But I refuse to insult my own biases. I acknowledge and I accept them.
While,
Okay.
while,
Listen,
better.
Okay,
Whoever
While
said
some
anything
of us
about
are still
insulting,
in
it's just
denial.
an
you
admission.
say they were all gutter-minded heathens,
We
correct?
are all heathens.
listen, Agent, this is
You went on to Newsground. I know you did.
Newground.
Surprisingly, no, I didn't.
okay, Angel.
Says the
I
man
know.
who frequents 4chan.
I got
I
this.
know.
Interesting. Because
Angel,
those-
this isn't Egypt, so quit writing the Nile River.
No. I'm the crocodile god and I will eat your fetid corpse.
Yeah, no. Listen, we nerds are heathens. We spend a lot of time on the internet. We're either looking up
Zay, Angel, Zayana, and if Dragon Fang can hear, sing it with me. The internet is really, really great.
For porn.
I have a fast connection, so I don't have to wait
for porn.
I
From
browse
my own
the
desktop.
For
I
porn.
click and browse and shop.
For porn.
I'm something like at the speed of light.
For porn.
The internet is for porn.
The internet is for porn.
Why do you think the net was born?
Porn, porn, porn. Not anymore.
If
Oh
these
no,
motherfuckers
now
had
it's
their way.
to write porn too.
The government is going to screw you now, and you're
For
porn.
porn.
You thought you
Actually,
were gonna
yeah,
have
no,
fun,
you-
but no.
No,
You're not.
Ah!
Didn't they just?
My nuts!
No, they did actually ban Pornhub.
I will
in
steal
Florida,
your
so-
They did.
balls.
No, not my nuts and balls.
Yes, that's right. Earlier this year, in the wake of the new presidency of one Donald Jackson Trump, I don't know his middle name. I'm
It's
just throwing.
literally John, the most generic ass middle name.
Really?
Oh, never mind.
Yes.
John.
His middle name is John.
DJ.
Yes.
Okay,
DJ.
fuck this. I'm gonna crucify that middle name now. So, in the wake of our new president, Donald Junkie Trump,
Ah!
yep. one of the things that has happened drastically in our specifically here in Florida is the ban on porn. Where you can no longer
Specifically
Pornhub and other porn sites are non-accessible.
Basically, what they did is that in order for you to be able to go on to major adult websites in the state of Florida, you literally have to register your state ID.
And their reasoning is because
age verification laws.
To protect the children.
State laws require age verification to access to websites. Pornhub has chosen to block the access. Oh no, basically, some websites require you to verify your age. Pornhub just basically said, no, I'm just going to shut the whole thing down, which makes me ask some very uncomfortable questions about Pornhub right now.
That's not even it, Angel. The fact of the matter is, it's because that registry of your state ID has to be filed in with the state, so they know what websites you're going into.
I'm gonna get taxed for my porn?
Yes,
pretty much. And as someone who doesn't,
the IRS isn't already fucking me over. That's porn by itself.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to give them all my information.
I may be
They don't
crazy
need to
enough
know
to
what kind
call
of
the Batman,
No.
but the IRS, no, thank you.
Like, listen, government overreach should not be fucking reaching into your dinglings or your Taco Bells of glory,
If they're
or
gonna
whatever
reach
you've got in
if
your
they're gonna
pants.
reach that bad, they could at least give me a handy.
Exactly. But now they're
Taco Bell?
I love Taco Bell.
It is a soft taco supreme, and I enjoy it. It
To be
is
fair,
snacky
though,
and
Joe,
delicious. No
to be
sour
fair-
cream.
You and that comment, Joe, may just be why you haven't got any tacos lately.
Badum-tish.
Ow!
UK Storm.
Hey, in my defense, though,
Not
in his
cool.
defense, just like tacos,
Pear?
I'm the one who said it.
Well, don't
I guess I know who's not
bully
getting
me.
tacos either. Damn, I'm sorry, bro.
I was the one who was saying it. That like.
To be fair, though,
whatever.
this situation, just like tacos, ends in a big pile of shit.
So.
All right. So what? Yeah, no. So what did the government decide to do? Ban more porn.
Oh, yeah, no. Here we fucking go, guys.
The ever delicate hand of Congress.
Yeah, I know. You gotta be fucking kidding.
Yeah,
me.
it's
You know,
about as
it's actually
it's
funny
about as delicate as a
considering,
hammer to a wall.
This is what.
Their base likes to go on Pornhub too. So
Oh yeah.
that's actually
Like-
really hilarious.
All right, so let's actually get into it here, folks. From this Mashable article, written by Anna Iveen on May 13th, headline reads, New GOP bill would basically ban porn, experts warn. The Interstate Obscenity Definition Act would rewrite the Supreme Court's definition of obscenity.
I'll read this one. A bill that rewrites the legal definition of obscenity could potentially change the internet as we know it. Last week, Republican Utah Senator Mike Lee and Illinois Representative Mary Miller reintroduced the Interstate Obscenity Definition Act, which would redefine what is considered obscene material. Obscenity isn't protected by the First Amendment, which enshrines freedom of speech. Quote, it may as well be an outright ban of pornography, adult industry attorney Corey D. Silverstein told Mashable. Because basically, under Lee's definition, all adult entertainment, all forms of pornography, will be deemed obscene.
And so,
Whoops, it was censorship all along.
yep, it's
Obscenity is,
quote.
quote, obscenity is, quote, outside the bounds of the First Amendment, explained Mike Stabile, director of public policy and adult industry trade organization.
At the
Adult Industry Trade Organization, that the Free Speech Coalition. Quote, you cannot distribute it, you can't sell it, you can't post it online, it is something you can be prosecuted for.
In U.S. law, obscenity is currently determined by the, quote, Miller test, a three-part test introduced after the 1973 Supreme Court case Miller v. California. A, whether the, quote, the average person applying contemporary community standards would find that the work taken as a whole appears to the prurient, also known as shameful or morbidly sexual
That is a
interest.
perfectly good rule to put on today's generation, which is more sex adverse than any other. Fan-fucking-tastic.
B, whether the work depicts or describes in a patently offensive way sexual conduct specifically defined by the applicable state law, and C, whether the work taken as a whole lacks serious literary, artistic, political, or scientific value.
By the way, rules like this is the reasons why we stop seeing tits on action movies.
Well, funnily enough, there's still tits in a lot of action movies.
Not
Yeah.
enough.
Not
you notice how much nudity has been lost from theater recently? Like that scene that we were watching like most of the time you only find it on Netflix series, but in the actual theater, in the movies, there's a lot less boobs now.
Man.
Yeah.
You have been culturally neutral. Fun little fact. Remember that time we were watching the prequel to John Wick, The Continental?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was just a blatantly raw sex scene on the first episode.
Yeah.
When was the last time you saw something like that on the big screen?
I don't remember.
Netflix can get away with it because they're a private company. But when was the last time you went to a theater? And I'm not talking about porn. I mean like blatant nudity. No use.
Oh, hang on a minute. K-Storm?
Wasn't there that one Underworld movie
Underworld
the-
Evolution.
where the two were having sex in
Right
that
in the
container?
beginning.
Yeah.
Right in the beginning of Underworld Evolution.
Evolution
I was
released.
17. I went to it, got permission, obviously had an adult with me. Unfortunately, that adult was my very, very
19
fundamentalist
years ago.
Christian mother.
So,
grandmother.
K-Storm?
These
So
right
yeah,
here-
my grandmother ended up seeing that shit. And
Based.
except she didn't find it overly offensive, just
Yeah,
surprised
for
that
sure.
it was there.
Well, to be fair though, she's your grandma. She's done plenty of that herself. She ain't gonna get embarrassed for that shit.
She's gone now.
She should know better.
She's fundamentalist. She was fundamentalist Christian. So
She's still fucked. That just makes her a
Puritan,
hypocrite.
Puritan as hell.
When did
So
Fifth
she's a
Element come out?
hypocrite.
Fifth Element, 1996, 7?
1987.
Point is, it's been almost 20 years, guys. And this is an exaggeration of that. Please keep going.
All right,
Alright,
I'll continue
Alright,
on from
so-
here. All three parts must be proven in order for material to be deemed obscene, not protected under the First Amendment. IOTA would redefine obscene material as visual media that, one, taken as a whole, appeals to the prurient interest in nudity, sex, or expression. Number two, depicts, describes, or represents an actual or simulated sexual act or sexual contact, actual or simulated normal or perverted sexual acts, or lewd exhibition of the genitals with the objective intent to arouse, titillate, or gratify the sexual desires of a person. And three, taken as a whole, lacks serious literary, artistic, political, or scientific value.
You notice that shit they
Your
had to...
boner must be culturally enriched.
No, your boner must not be existent.
Okay, can I
Your
actually...
boner must not exist, bro.
Can I
That's just
interject with
censorship.
this?
This is just censorship.
Really quick?
Yeah.
Remember back in middle school and high school?
Yeah, what about it?
And they keep saying that it was a sexual act to show
Shoulder.
bra straps.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
remember
god.
that. Somebody in school.
Because
told me
it would
Ziana, why
arouse
would
and
you do that?
it would arouse and distract the boys.
So it was always Puritanism. Glad to know
Dragonfly,
something
you
has
alright?
never changed.
Bullshit!
Yeah, it was pretty much like that.
You remember that?
But continuing with the article, IOTA would remove the community standard requirement in the age of the internet. Clearing that bar is more difficult, according to Stabile, because, quote, what is the community standard of the internet? A jury
You
would
don't want to know what the community standard of the internet is.
a jury would have to agree on it. But if that portion's removed, then prosecutors wouldn't have to prove that most people believe the content is prurient, not just sexual, but shameful or morbid sexual interests,
You know, I
and
just
doesn't
realized-
have a social value.
You know, I just realized this is far wider reaching than porn. What do you think this could do to anime? What do you
Oh
think
no!
what
What
do you think
anime?
this can do to video games?
Holy lord.
They always try to hit you with the big thing, the lewd thing, the porn, the dirty business, but
Yep.
you realize, wait a second, this can apply to anything.
Yeah.
This is a very
Yep.
broad interpretation of the
Yeah.
law. Anything that even the slightest bit of fan service can be considered that way.
Hey, Juan, can you
Oh.
actually, Angel? Would you like to continue the article?
Sadly,
That's
he's right.
IOTA, which sounds like a horrible combination of anti-infection medication, would allow prosecutors to say it is no longer matters if it's offensive to the larger community. If it's offensive to us, we can bring a case.
Sibyl explained.
That doesn't mean that there wouldn't be hurdles to proving content is obscene, but he doesn't think IOTA itself is nearly as important as what it signals. The GOP wants to legalize porn.
And yet, like,
here we are.
And now
Here
we're
we
getting to the main
fucking
meat of the
are.
heart of the
may
matter.
I? Because
Go for it, Juan.
I think we, don't touch me. I think we all need to pick up our phones.
Yeah.
Why?
Cause I fucking called it.
Oh yeah, didn't we literally have like a little
We had two
Yes.
Black Files episodes
Yeah.
of Project 2020 fucking 5.
and we said that this can, actually happen in the future, but people said that we were overreacting.
And it's happening.
Oh, it
And
is.
they're in the process of making it happen.
Because
You
if
know why
don't
else
vote,
y'all
they
need
don't
to be
vote back
picking up your
there.
phones?
Why?
Call your fucking representatives and tell them this shit ain't okay. They have no reason to act in your interest unless you tell them what their interest is.
The locals
And
already pointed out this shit.
If enough people call, they'll realize that their re-election chances are about to go down the toilet.
So what I'm seeing here,
And
basically
also,
are the
do not write because it's been confirmed that some of them have just been
Of
tossing
course.
the letters.
Now, the good news is, and the slight glimmer of hope in all this, is based on the Project 2525 connections on the same year. What's his name? Mashable Prison reported about how Trump may handle porn in his second term. Lee first introduced the IODA 2022. He also introduced the shielding children's retinas from egregious exposure on the net
Children's
the same year.
The screen. Jesus, these guys were fucking.
Now,
They were trying hard for that.
here's the
acronym.
important part. They both failed.
Yeah, back
the
then.
Screen Act of Expansion age verification laws state requirements to upload government ID or facial recognition scan in order to view explicit websites.
Kind of like
comply
South
with the
Florida.
laws. That also failed. Lee also tried to reintroduce the IODA and the Screen Act in the 2023 to 24 legislative session, and they failed again. Lee and now Miller reintroduced Screen yet again in February, and IODA is... So, this is the third time they tried it. Do you think the third time is going to be the charm?
I don't think so, bro.
Here's the problem.
I sincerely doubt it.
Here's the problem.
It's
The
GOP
first
backed
time-
and who's running the country pretty much now.
Actually,
GOP.
sadly, that's the whole thing. Back in 2022 and 2023, 2024, that was still all under the Biden administration. They still had more folks in Congress that would support it, but there were plenty of others who were opposing it. Now they have Congress, they have the presidency, and they have the Supreme Court.
I need to study this. This is
Yes,
interesting.
please, because this is going to be nuts.
Yeah,
let's see.
no, go
Quote,
ahead. But I really hope that doesn't come to where Trump gets involved because Trump.
No, he has to. No, he is already involved. He signed off on this shit.
He's the
Oh,
president.
never mind then.
Cara is involved by default.
Let's see.
Damn, and
Quote,
I thought that he would be distracted by luxurious planes from Qatar.
We're gonna throw more planes at him. Keep him distracted from more stupid decisions.
Let's see here. Quote, if you pull back and you look at the broad picture of censorship that's going on, from any information about trans people to sexual health information, certainly to anything that has adult content, they are following their promises in Project 2025, said Richie Levy, president and CEO of the sexual freedom nonprofit Woodhull Freedom Foundation. Quote, and this is just another attempt. Levy refers to Project 2025, the conservative policy blueprint for Trump's second term. Among many other measures, it calls for banning pornography and imprisoning people who make it. Oklahoma Senator Dusty Devers introduced a bill to do just that, criminalize adult content in January. Statutes like age verification don't outright ban porn, but do so in a, quote, backdoor way, according to Project 2025 co-author and current director of the Office of Management and Budget, Russell Vaught. Last summer, undercover journalists caught Vaught saying this on a secret recording. So that's literally the goal. It's not like, oh, hey, maybe that's literally their point.
It always turns into censorship.
So while
every single time.
So while free speech advocates and researchers have been saying age verification laws don't work for their intended purpose to stop minors from accessing porn, it seems that isn't the end goal of these laws, nor would it be the end goal of IOTA, experts say, despite what Lee says in the IOTA announcement. Quote, obscenity is protected by First Amendment, but hazy and unenforceable legal definitions have allowed extreme pornography to saturate American society and reach countless children.
But would somebody please think of the children?
Lee says in the press release, fuck them. That's just stuff and nonsense about children, Levy said, pointing to a Woodhull article on how minors aren't accessing porn at unprecedented levels.
Not really.
Quote,
It's mostly teenagers, to be fair.
and even then, there's parent locks for that. And it's just another one of those tried and tested sound bites that makes these so challenging to fight. The bottom line is, this is all about speech suppression.
Every single... look at that. Censorship beyond porn. Stabile believes that on the surface, anti-porn prosecutors will be able to take more porn creators to court and render adult consent illegal. Beyond that, bills like this will also produce a chilling effect due to pressure and fear of being prosecuted. Fun little fact, one of the reasons why we lost so much nudity on the movies is because of two things. One, the desperation to reach a widest audience possible. And two, fear of being censored. There is a reason movies are terrified of getting the R rating. They don't touch that shit for a reason.
Yeah, no, because like literally, I'm actually remembering when they were talking about, and this is a bad example, but take it for what it's worth. When Tom Green made Freddy Got Fingered, they initially get. I know. I'm not.
No, you know what? No, this is the perfect example. Go ahead.
They were initially slapped with the dreaded NC-17 rating,
AKA adults only.
And not even that. It was like there's literal murder happening on your movie, and it's not allowed to be seen by anyone unless they're an adult. Period. And it took a lot of creative editing and a lot of shit just for them to be able to skate under to get the R rating.
Yeah, they're terrified to go through that now. If
let's
you
see.
had the federal government coming after you, it was incredibly expensive and very hard to defend, and so people would just go out of business. He said in obscenity cases of the later 19 and early 2000s. An example is the 1990s obscenity charge against the Home Dish Satellite Corporation, a company that transmitted soft and hardcore porn to the... Yeah, I remember those guys.
Just satellites
Across
across
the
the country.
country.
It went out of business.
They went out of business.
Yeah.
Having the after you, they don't have to shoot you. They'll just make you go broke.
One?
Certainly, people did go to jail. Sabine continued, amongst others, through the decades. Fetish porn maker Ira Isaacs received a 4-year prison sentence in 2013 for producing and selling obscene material.
What kind of obscene material?
I
What
wish-
fetish was she catering into? You know what? I'm going to find out.
Let's see here. The potential chilling effect goes for porn creators, but also those who create content about sex and sexuality, period. Quote, the focus of the right on the adult industry has been towards creating greater and greater liability for creating adult content and buying adult content, Stabile continued. He compared the GOP's treatment of the adult
It was
industry.
cat. Yeah, okay, maybe he should go to jail for that.
Well,
Okay, continue.
let's see. He compared the GOP's treatment of the adult industry to that of reproductive rights, creating more and more regulations to making it accessing it harder, such as with waiting periods for abortions and mandating ultrasounds. If you're a doctor or hospital, you have to comply or be sued.
Hey, yeah, no, that link will actually make a question. What do you think this law will do to OnlyFans?
That's
That shit's gonna burn to the ground.
Considering that OnlyFans tried to pull this shit a few years ago when they tried to ban their own creators from
that.
No, that was done as a
Oh.
result of Visa and MasterCard trying to restrict their payment systems
Those
from
fuckers.
porn industries. And they're like, oh shit, no, never mind. No, these people are just making money, and there's no obscene shit happening in there. Not really. Let's see. The intent we're seeing
most of the time.
over and over again, whether it's Project 2025 or bills like this or public statements, that they believe their pornography should not be legal, and that they believe that what they believe should be pornography is this all-encompassing conversations about sex and sexuality in general.
Oops, it was Puritanism all along.
It's just a slippery slope, says Levy, who mentioned the recent filing of Librarian of Congress Carla Hayden, who spoke out against book bans. The ramifications of IOTA are staggering, but it's not the law yet.
It failed twice, and it could fail again.
Silverstein, wait, who the fuck is Silverstein?
Silverstein.
No, I didn't.
His name showed up a couple of times earlier.
Yeah, his name did show up.
Yeah. Okay, Silverstein believes that Lee reintroduced IOTA to fire up his far-right base, and that it's going to be unsuccessful once again.
It's going to
Regardless, it's still a terrifying time for the industry. It's very overwhelming. It's caused a lot of stress and a lot of angst for people in the industry. Sex workers, adult entertainment workers across the board, he said. Silverstein, however, believes that IOTA has, quote, absolutely no chance of working.
You can't just pass a law to usurp what the U.S. Supreme Court has already ordered, he said, according to Silverstein. Lee is ignoring First Amendment and the Constitution, and he will lose. Since the inception of recorded pornography, the industry has continuously been under attack, he said. We've been at this before, it's happened before, and we pushed back, and we fought back, and ultimately, we won.
All right, so that's the end of the article.
I'm willing to believe Silverstein on this one. Not because they failed before, but because... Hey, guys, remember that time we tried to ban all the alcohol?
Yep.
How did that go again?
Well-
Well, it gave us organized crime.
Yeah.
Mobsters are fun.
Now, I'm not saying there's going to be organized crime. I'm saying that you cannot stop this because when I say sex sells, is an overwhelming thing. You cannot deny human nature. It's that simple.
Well, let's be
Also-
honest. For many years now, the feds have always tried to come after the porn industry, and they've always tried to shut them down.
Yeah. The best part is, though, as they say, they're trying to light up the right-wing fan base, but right-wingers watch porn, too.
Yeah,
They
that's
are-
what I was
They
gonna
watch it
get
even
at.
worse.
They're
Like,
going to hate this as much as the
do
left-wingers
do they literally think that their base will be completely exempt from this? No,
No.
absolutely not. You're gonna be affected too.
You can't
Like-
bite the hand that feeds you, imbecile. They vote for you.
I told ya, it is the evangelical, fundamentalist, Christian douchebags who think that everything needs to be done according to their very, very, very
Obsolete.
narrow, obsolete, outdated, and told by Jesus no longer functioning interpretation of
Did
the
Jesus
Bible.
say
'cause they-
anything about banning porn?
No!
Jesus
No!
quite specifically said everything that was laid out in the Old Testament no longer applies. So all their shit about, oh, you should not lay with another male.
Like that. Like
That's
those were.
Leviticus.
Also, he
That's-
was
and
friends with the prostitutes.
The only thing that
He was-
Jesus said was go and sin no more. He was pretty clear about that shit.
Go sin no more. Go he said that the only commandments that mattered was like love thy neighbor and don't kill.
Also,
Most
how
basically.
many of
Oh,
those?
apparently the Democrats are on top of that. They
Oh.
watch 13% more porn.
So
Okay,
like,
so
I mean,
they
like,
can't-
that's not even the point.
The point is that the Republicans are watching the other 40-something%. They
Oh.
hate this just as
Also,
much.
Jesus Christ was kind of cool because he brought crazy bread from Little Caesars for his Last Supper.
He was a pretty chill guy.
okay,
Yes, he was.
but
Skateboard Jesus.
also, how many of those evangelicals and all those things actually have a?
Projection is rampant.
Oh.
Yeah, right.
Projection
Right?
is rampant. Like they said, this is censorship. This
Just
is
saying.
because if they get through porn, which is like the biggest hurdle, they will have no trouble expanding this into other forms of media.
Oh, no more nightclubs. No more nightclubs because you know people who dance there. No. Too sexualized.
Yeah, nah, remove that shit.
And
Was it no call girls?
Yeah.
No call girls.
No
No
escort.
OnlyFans.
No
You go-
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans.
No nothing.
And eventually it will reach other media. They will just remove more and more nudity from TV shows. Not even Netflix will be
And
free
then from
that stuff.
public life as
They-
you know it. Oh my
Basically,
god!
everyone has to start covering up because too sexualized.
Everyone, start wearing potato sacks.
Can we please stop trying to bring Sharia law into the United States?
Can we please
you.
stop
Please.
trying to bring crap? What was it called again?
He just said it's Sharia law.
No
Because I mean, you can't listen.
what was it with the Red Hoods and everything again?
Oh, Handmaid's Tales.
Handmaid's Tales, yes, something like that.
Dragon Fang. Your thoughts?
Anything you'd like
that
to add?
book is just a fetish book.
Are you
man.
sure?
You were
Like,
trying to.
the author was writing that book with one hand, bro. Sorry, what's that? You good? Okay, so the point is, listen, at the risk of sounding crude, you can't turn off sex. It doesn't work like that. 99% of humanity loves sex. They get horny. They fuck and they reproduce, and that's how we are born. And the artistic interpretation of sex and the worship of it and the cultural, whatever, that doesn't matter. We're still at that core living beings, and the desire to get it on, you just can't take that away. And people are going to find a way to satisfy that urge one way or another. It happens. You can't shut this down because that industry is born out of humanity's need for it. Just like alcohol, just like food. I'm not saying that is essential, but it's pretty fucking damn important. You can't just take that away from them. If you try, you will have everybody on both sides of the field telling you to go fuck yourself. And not in the fun way either.
Exactly. Now, before we get to the next story, let's turn over to the live chat for a second here.
What do you guys think of this shit?
Haley Race Out said, "Good thing I'm in Alabama."
Sweet home! Not bad. Hey, man, farm girls make do.
All right, Taco Bell's too. Okay, what the hell, Christopher? I had the chicken nuggets at Taco Bell, not bad, and you can get nacho cheese dip it.
Hey.
Let's see here, Kyle. An uptick for VPN use explodes as a result.
No, that's gonna
I
happen.
suddenly have the urge to Google Rule 34 Godzilla X Mothra.
Ha.
We need this stuff, says Haley Ray. I worked with for and briefly as SW on set. I don't agree with this overreach. Yep. No one does.
No
Let
one
me
does.
tell you, says Haley Ray, I watched that stuff when I was small.
Well, see, that's the fault of your parents for not regulating your internet history. That's
And
on them.
Then the Joseph says the issue is that obscenity isn't well defined. It's 100% legal for the GOP to
Yeah.
it's illegal for them to ban porn. Yeah, it's not. It's not like that's even it.
feet.
Like,
Yeah, but being
Oh,
what's up?
yeah, but as we said many.
behold, obscenity.
Oh my
Behold. Wait, no, my ankle's not bare.
How dare
No! No!
Infidel! Cut your hand off! Point in case is,
Ah!
Ah!
So obscene!
It always-
It's a bare ankle! Run!
I'm just
Run
saying,
now!
if you are so desperate,
cannot!
I'm not saying that there isn't like,
No!
I'm not saying that there isn't a standard of
No!
dressing. You know, because different occasions require different dress codes. That's cool. There are standards and forms for getting dressed. That's cool. But if you become this obsessed with censoring people's bodies, maybe the problem is you. Maybe you can't control your
Also,
urges.
you can. The people who are introducing this, you cannot say that you didn't watch that shit.
Yeah.
You're a hypocrite.
Most of the people introducing these are old enough that their equipment doesn't even work anymore.
Precisely.
$10
Ow.
says, yeah, no, this fucker, this
This
GOP
man is
idiot.
both on Alzheimer's
Let's see your
medication and
search
7 different
history
brands of
then.
Viagra.
Yeah. $10 says Mike Lee watches donkey porn. Anyway.
Ha!
Don't insult donkeys like that. They deserve it.
Yeah, they do. But he does it anyway because he's
Somebody!
Now, as
As
for Jose Santos's last comment, 100% legal for the GOP to ban porn.
it's
I've-
not legal yet.
It's not legal, and even if it is, being legal doesn't make it right.
And what, like you said, it's gonna cause a massive uptick of VPN. Like, yeah, you ban porn in the U.S. Good thing I'm living in Brazil
Wink nudge.
or China.
Or
no, I
Australia.
just moved to Australia in the last 5 minutes.
Or Australia.
All right.
sorry.
So let's move on.
See, this is a proper fucking crime. Do you want
Rest
this
in
one next, or do you want the other one
Let's
first?
start with this one. Let's start easy.
All right, go for it, Angel.
Let's start
Now,
ridiculous.
Now this is an actual crime.
Now, speaking of things that have produced a shit ton of porn, let's talk about Pokemon for 5 minutes.
Ah! No! Oh my God, Angel!
I'm not gonna deny it. It's there.
Ugh.
I see
Poor
it.
Vaporeon
You
and
saw it.
Lopunny. They don't deserve that kind of
Pokemon Snap Triple
Remember that
X.
Fun fact. One of the listen, I'm gonna blow your mind right now. One of the
Pikachu. Oh my.
one of the very first pieces
Dugong.
of porn for
Mewtwo
Pokemon
hentai.
ever
God
made.
fucking damn it.
I'm not gonna tell you what it looked like.
Yeah.
It involved Misty and Pokeballs. We're gonna stop right
Yeah.
there.
We'll just leave it there.
Point is, Pokemon is popular, guys. It's very popular. No, not just porn. It's just a generally massive IP, and as a result, the product that Pokemon makes is very popular to the point that people are willing to do horrible things like buy Switch 2 just to get a new Pokemon game. You fucking simps! I hope you burn in the corporate hell you build for yourselves. Now, unfortunately, just like everything else that is valuable, it results in an influx of scalpers, especially when it comes to the Pokemon card game, especially the Pokemon card game, especially after a certain influencer wasted thousands of dollars to get a Charizard card
Millions,
for a game that
actually.
he doesn't. Thank you for a game that he doesn't even play. Now,
Fuck you, Logan Paul. You're an idiot and scam artist. Coffeezilla forever.
sadly, scalping has been a problem, and it will continue to be a problem until we start shooting people. But
Don't-
until that glorious day
No!
comes, listen, I want to see this event happen, but like the Bucky scene.
I think I know which
Oh
one you're
my
talking about.
God.
I want that to happen.
Go, continue,
But I
continue.
digress. Unfortunately, this has resulted in a lot of both minor, major crime, and just general disturbance of the peace and annoyance to the average person who just wants to get some Pokemon merchandise. According to GameSpot, man arrested after being found with a stolen Pokemon card haul worth over $300,000.
Excuse me?
Insert gotta catch 'em all joke here.
By Lion Pitts on May 15,
Gotta steal them all.
2025. Holy shit, this
Yeah.
happened like 2 days ago. In the past few years, the demand for Pokemon cards, like most collectibles, has skyrocketed, as has the rise of theft and scalpers. In most instances, with these massive stolen hauls, they are usually recovered and the suspect arrested, much like a recent story of a man in the UK, excuse me, getting caught with a stolen cash of approximately 250,000 euros worth of money.
Pounds. Yeah,
This is about $332,500. The stolen haul was discovered after Greater Manchester Police, GMP, open up! A home in the Hyde, Tameside, which is on the outskirts of the Greater Manchester. Booster packs were still in their original bags, with some of the individual graded cards up to £560, which is $744. Look at that shit.
What?
That is a pretty good art.
That, what
That's
what
pretty
the
good.
fuck?
That looks pretty good, I'm not gonna lie.
I know.
I
That
can't
does.
understand how the fuck you play that thing, but it looks
Hold
pretty
on. They have a gallery? Oh, fuck, never mind. Fuck.
good. What have you done?
No, the gallery.
Damn, Juan, you killed the art. No, there it is.
No, they had a gallery. It was stolen by scalpers.
God.
Oh, no.
Hang on, let me read the content of the card.
Go for it.
Go real quick. Let me read the description of that card.
That's a Charizard.
When you play this
EX.
Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may search your deck for up to 3 basic 4 fire energy cards and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like. Then shuffle your. So basically, when this card goes higher in level, you can find 3 equipped cards and put it on this card.
Dear God.
No kidding.
Damn, that smells good.
Right?
Smells pretty good.
Smells awesome.
An interesting warrant in High yesterday morning, supported by your neighborhood policing teams, the statement from Tameside Police reads, seizure of thousands of stolen high-value Pokemon cards. God, can you imagine being the cop doing this raid going, really? Really? At least I'm not getting shot at, but really? Marty, this is the kind of shit that makes you retire early.
God almighty.
So the
Attempts
statement
will
from
not be
Tameside
made.
Police read, seizure of thousands of stolen high-value with estimated worth of $250K. Attempts will now be made to return these cards to the original owners. One male arrested, gotta catch them all.
Wait. So this wasn't stolen from I originally thought that this was like from like a store.
No, they were stolen from individuals, apparently.
Yeah, this might be one of the biggest hauls ever, even surpassing the case that happened in October of last year. 2 men were arrested under suspicion of stealing Magic the Gathering and Pokemon cards, totaling $150K in value from a game store, though a portion was later recovered.
Oh my god.
Holy shit.
Holy
Wait, so-
fuck. Now that's
Damn.
an actual crime.
Do you guys think
Yeah.
that this was
That's
actually
actual
a
theft.
scam from you know how like Sis was actually looking up before where she was wanting to grade some cards, and usually you have to send the cards off.
Mhm.
There's actually a lot of scammers who actually claim to grade these, and you
Yeah.
have to send them over.
Or sometimes
Really?
they send you
Yes,
fake,
and you have to pay to have
sometimes
them
they make
graded.
fake versions and they send them back while they
Yes,
keep the original.
yes. I'm actually wondering if that's what this was.
That is a
That
possibility.
might be
I'm
it.
trying to look at the other articles to see if they can tell me something, but sadly it
Since I
looks like
remember
this
you
is all
didn't
we
really
have
want
right
to do
now.
that because you're like, I don't trust
Holy-
this.
Let me
Holy
check
lord.
this here.
See, the Miller test says the Joseph Santos. This is the current standard used to protect free expression. It has some vagueness issues. Yeah, no. That was mentioned in the Mashable article there, the Joseph.
Sadly, it is not explained how the gentleman managed to acquire this merchandise, but yeah,
So it doesn't say it in
Yeah,
the
'cause-
statement.
so
from
if
police or
these
nothing?
were graded,
yet.
that's actually what the graded thing
it
looks
is
like.
likely that they
So-
stole them directly or they basically cheated the owners out of it. But that must have
Gall.
taken
That's what I think.
years.
That's
to get to that
actual
state.
fucking theft. That is like scamming people. out
And
of
there
their
are some
property.
really
The worst
good
part is that he didn't even
fakes.
sell them; he just kept them there.
Yeah.
Not even made the money. It's just for the collectible some Kaiba type shit.
It's
But
for
not
the
even, like-
sake of having it.
Yeah,
It's for the clout.
It's a special kind of greed. No, not even cloud, because you're not gonna tell people you have that much money in cards. That's just, it's like, my precious.
No, but it's also private cloud. Oh yeah, I got all
Yeah.
these things. Haha.
Man, that's kind of nuts.
It's for the self-satisfaction, and that's just fucking depressing. Like, if you're going to grab shit, like, okay, if you're poor as fuck and you need to steal food to live or to feed your family, that's one thing. It may be morally dubious, but is also, like, it may be legally dubious, but it can also be justified
Necessity.
for morality. This is excess. This is, I have £250,000 worth of Pokemon.
It's
And
gluttony. really.
it's self-aggrandizement, it's glory, it's for the thrill of being able to say that
What
you
a
have it.
thrill.
That's
Oh
actual
no,
fucking
this ain't
theft.
no thrill.
This is not a thrill.
Man, you know,
Neither is this shit.
it feels like Yu-Gi-Oh is the only one that doesn't get hit by this because they reprint their cards constantly. They don't really rely on rarity.
Say what you want about Konami. At least you. That's a pretty
Ironic.
solid business strategy to help dilute the.
I think they started doing that on the point where Tour Guide to the Underworld reached the triple-digit numbers.
Oh no! Even worse! Like when we're thinking of of people scamming people with Pokemon cards, we're thinking of actual counterfeit Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
And do you remember how bad those used to be?
Yes.
It was disgusting.
Remember the shitty
Do you remember
Yu-Gi-Oh
you could-
cards from the flea market?
Yeah, you remember when also people were selling
The
fake cards at the
fake
cons?
Exodia with 9,999
You
remember that?
attacks.
I
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah.
They're trying to steal, trying to sell fake, like Pokemon and fake Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Man,
Fucking
I actually
disgusting.
bought a couple of those when I was young and I didn't know any better because I just got to this country. And my friend at high school, his name was Frank. I miss Frank. I hope he's doing okay. He basically went, "You can't play with this, man. These are all fake." And I'm like, "Really? Yeah, try to read the text." And I went, "What the fuck is this?"
Like this is the magic cards are like, oh, this is the enchantment optication, and you must only
Gathering 5 of the great enchanter Jeff hand, right hand, left foot, right foot,
Oh my
and
God.
recover Dark Warrior, limitless attack power, can ruin all enemy in 1 second. Attack and defense infinity.
And
Oh my God.
That's for the fake Exodia called Dark Enchanter.
I
Well, see,
had this thing.
here's the thing, some of the cards actually look like what they're supposed to, with a tiny
one's-
bit of inconsistencies, which is really
How
difficult
about
to
Dark
tell.
Master, which is the element of sound?
What the fuck?
While the dark matter released, yeah, that's my ass after Taco Bell, all monster with endless offensive will be destroyed. Limitless offensive power.
Damn, bro.
These are bad.
Well, I'm sorry, it's limitless offensive force. I fucked up, sorry.
No, you
These
good.
are depressingly bad.
When
Oh
the
my-
Beelzebub's zeal has been united, any enemy will be destroying at minute.
Yeah, the Dark.
This is like Chinese Korean translations of English.
It's like translating from Chinese to Korean to Hindu to cuneiform to ancient Hebrew
It's always
to
Exodia
English.
for some reason.
It's why the fucking
Oh, and
There's
also
like-
the
These are all
fake
different
Japanese
cards with
cards.
different descriptions, by the way.
Remember that?
they're all Exodia obliterate. That's why.
No, his name
Okay,
is
apparently I need a
Jeff.
hand.
All right, go for it. Go for
Right,
it.
time for the next one.
All right, here we go. Angel.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about Bungie.
Let's
Oh,
speaking of
really?
stealing shit.
Once upon a time, Bungie was the darling
I
of
can
the
handle
apple
this,
of
don't
the
worry about it.
Warner's industry eye because they were responsible for Halo, the game that changed the base of the industry. One could argue to this day, there is few mascots of the video game industry that became as popular as Master Chief. Unfortunately, the good times have to come to an end, and after making Halo and breaking off from Microsoft, Bungie would go on to make Destiny, which was alright, and then they would go on to make Destiny 2, which was pure dog shit, and became increasingly piles of brightly colored dog shit. After the most recent expansion, the Final Shape, which answered no questions and solved no problems, they decided they're going to make a new game, and so they introduced a remake of a very old game called Marathon, a team-based first-person ability shooter where the players cooperate together to scavenge ancient ruins of a lost civilization, trying to obtain as much moolah as possible and running out.
Okay.
They released a couple of trailers. The one I just showed you guys had a very distinct art style with a very heavy atmosphere, reminiscent of the good episodes of Love, Death, and Robots.
Correct.
Showing the characters and how their minds are recopied into their cyborg shells, and how eventually doing it over and over causes decay and breakdowns.
And the visual and the art style and the character designs looked cool.
It was very unique. Now, the interest for this game, I gotta be honest with you, it was not that high. Because in the industry saturated with first-person shooters, what's another team-based first-person shooter? Especially when Marvel Rivals is kind of kicking everybody's ass right now.
Yes.
Now, unfortunately, things are worse than expected because Bungie has been caught stealing. In fact, possibly the last straw, because this is not the first time they did it, but this is the one that is most blatant. According to Forbes, Bungie stealing Marathon art is probably the last straw.
This
We can
article
see
was
some
published.
comparisons there.
Yep, this article was published on May 16th by Paul Tassi.
Thank you, Mr. Tassi. Marathon developer Bungie has been accused of and has now admitted to stealing artwork used in the current build of Marathon from an artist who first published work in 2017. By the way, do you know what was the first key?
What?
The artist hit a parody of the Lost Web.
I remember.
comic in a
I
wall,
remember reading that. Yeah.
and they
yeah.
just copy the whole fucking thing to a wall. It's just right there. It's just there.
Yeah.
The squiggly lines.
My thought is, it's not the last straw. It's the lost straw.
Ba-dum-tish.
Ah.
Now, Marathon developer Bungie has admitted to this, and the artist's name is Anti-Real. You can find him on Twitter. They posted several comparisons of her work and existing Bungie Marathon assets, which go far beyond inspiration and offer a direct one-to-one lift of images, words, and symbols, and even her own personal logo. Here is her statement. Bungie is, of course, not obligated to hire me when making a game that draws overwhelming from the same design language I have refined for the last decade, but clearly my work was good enough to pillage for ideas and plaster all over the game without pay or attribution. Within a matter of hours, this began to spread virally. Bungie issued a statement saying that it was a former Bungie artist who included the decals in the texture sheet that ultimately went into the game. The issue was supposedly unknown by the existing team, but obviously many questions have been raised about this as Bungie continues to investigate.
They are trying to save face.
They are trying to save it. Look at that. Look at they are literally copying and pasting. Look at the image. It's right there. Most of they were just lifted up all her designs, turned them around, and that's it.
Oh my god.
We are copying and pasting here, my dude.
This damn, bro. That's awful.
This is not plagiarism. This is theft. Actual theft.
Ugh.
It's like,
Nuggers
hey,
into
can
your
I borrow?
hamster.
Can I borrow a copy of your homework? Literally copies and paste.
what?
Exactly.
No, they didn't even ask. They just stole her fucking notebook. There is no dispute in the asset reps. They are one by one in many cases and that are clear to see. The result is that if Bungie will simply cut the artist a check and credit them is unclear. It is possible that legal action could be pursued here, but the artists did not seem to think they had the resources to mount such a campaign. That could change given the attention that this story has now gotten. Scroll down. However, there are now larger questions being raised about Anti-Real and Marathon's overall aesthetic. Looking at the image gallery of their work, the design language the artist mentions could easily be an early concept art for Marathon's designs, if you didn't know any better, from the images themselves to even the color palette. The original Marathon doesn't look anything like the modern Marathon, and now we know why the art was so drastically changed. They just wholesale lifted from this one. It is true that the artist did not invent an entire genre of art, but even across well-known cyberpunk influences of media, I have yet to see anything this close to the gap between the work and the Marathon. And obviously, there were direct pieces directly lifted straight from it. From Bungie has his eye open on capacity of this. An additional wrinkle is that it's been discovered several Bungie employees have been following the account, including game's current art director, who followed her for years. She said, without any communication from him or anyone else.
Oh, that's
Oh, yeah.
incriminating evidence right there.
Her work went up in 2017, and by most accounts, Marathon began development in 2018. They follow her just to steal from her.
My God.
Taking a vibe as opposed to exact pieces is harder, if not impossible to prove, but in this case, perception is quickly becoming reality, and the narrative is hardening. Oh yeah, it is. Marathon, among many criticisms, always had at least its unique art style and aesthetic as a bright spot. Now it's going to be impossible to bring it up in the future without this plagiarism being referenced. And even if it's just a handful of assets that were ripped, it will be very hard to get around the theory that a lot of the initial conceptual aesthetic was directly from this one artist. Look at that. They took her shit. They took her germ.
They took her germ.
Jesus
Took her germ.
Christ.
Took her germ.
And it's so blatant.
Everybody get back to the gay pile.
Okay, yeah, that's
Back to the gay pile.
Back to germ.
Now, I believe that it is too early to start naming and blaming specific individuals. All of them. Fire all of them. But the studio will need to do an intense investigation to this and come up with a lengthy explanation in addition to the terms that they are come to with the artist publicly. And they may promise that this will not happen in the future, but it has now happened 4 times in the last 4 years. The others with Destiny fan art that was listed in some capacity for the game or the merchandise. That was a third-party contractor, however, and it was Bungie in-house, or former in-house, or whatever you want to believe. I have serious doubts about Marathon's ultimate viability in the PvP extraction shooter market for a while now, and doubly so after an underwhelming close alpha a few weeks. Oh yeah, there was a close alpha.
When?
The fact that nobody even cares that it happened should tell you how little this game is making a splash.
I didn't even hear about this
Yeah,
before.
it was
Like
a few
I didn't
weeks
even
back.
know what this game was.
People played it, and the result was, I played better. Like it's not
Oh.
it's not quite. Wow, I forgot the name of that game. The one that came out and died on in a week. What was the name of it? Concord.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not Concord, but it's nothing special. Now, but to lose 1 point of pride on how cool the design works and aesthetic is, and its perceptions now civilly etched in stone, it feels almost backbreaking. It is certainly true that there are dozens, if not hundreds, of artists who have worked on Marathon and have nothing to do with this at all, producing their original work, but the well is now poisoned. Marathon is supposed to have a ride-along alpha feedback session with game director Zoe Ziegler today, which has already moved once, and it's a little hard to imagine that it's not going to be overwhelmed by this story. And I can only imagine what the chat will be like, so we'll see what happens.
And right
But
here.
show them that picture I sent you.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
go ahead and
boy.
show the picture. But, folks, what you're looking at right now, this is a screenshot of the first-person view of the gameplay.
It don't look that special, honestly.
It don't.
It
Now,
ain't all that.
Turns out that thing I mentioned, it happened just now.
The game itself has also seemed troubled in a number of different ways, and I've said in the past that it felt like a delay was necessary. Yes, Marathon started development in 2018, but the current version, after huge overhauls, is barely 2 years old, and it feels like it. But even conceptually, I cannot get behind the idea that this hero-based extraction shooter is going to do especially well in the end, and that's even before its aesthetic. It no longer seems that cool.
So before
at
you
all.
show the picture to the chat and to the beloved viewers, I must let you know that yes, that test happened. The developers were on the chat, out on video, watching what happened. And they very quickly turned the chat to sub-only mode. And the result was this.
Bum, ba-da-bum. Okay, what is it? Plagiarism will make me a god. Plagiarism will make me a god. Plagiarism will make me a god. Plagiarism will
my
make me a
God.
There's
Plagiarism will
no
make me
thing
a
about
god.
this. The chat, this was subscriber-only mode, and they didn't ask any questions. They just bombarded the entire team with the accusations.
Bye Bungie.
By the time the stream was done, this dude, who's one of the producers, looked like he was about to end it all.
Jesus.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
look at his
Bye
face.
Bye Bungie. What a kindergarten thing. Damn, this community is what choke on your heinous comments. Yeah, no. Plagiarism will make me a god. Plagiarism will make me a god.
Like my
This
manga.
cannot continue. Become
This
as
cannot continue.
gods.
This
This cannot continue.
This
Become
cannot
as gods. Become as
Yeah,
gods.
it's
Become.
just being nothing but that, and that's it. This game is cooked. This project is bone.
Man!
The only
Man.
when we're done here, I'm gonna show you the whole trailer that I was showing them. This thing, the only thing it had going for it was the aesthetic, and a unique happened by making a first-person shooter. How come I can't see my super customized cyborg scavenger? Come on,
That's
you give me all
dumb.
this. Like the worst part is in the trailer, they show you that girl you see right there with like 3 different designs.
Yeah.
You can't see any of them because it's first person. What's the fucking
Ah!
And now we find out that not even that is original. Congratulations. The only thing you have to show for it, and You sit on a throne of lies.
No
Yeah,
fucking
unfortunately.
doubt. Let's take a look in the chat before we
It's
start wrapping up on
Bad,
this one.
my man.
Wait, I had to reload it. Come on.
It's okay. It's okay.
So yeah,
It's moving.
one of the
It's moving
biggest
fast.
companies available that made one of the most profitable works with Bungie's Destiny 2, and apparently they cannot afford originality. They can't.
Here we go.
Okay, so
Kudos.
let's see here.
Depressing.
Funny. The Miller test. That's insane. You have the biggest Kingdom Hearts theft happened once.
Kingdom Hearts
Yes,
3
it
games were
was
stolen.
Logan Paul sucks.
Oh yeah.
Let me see. Bungie, I can't watch this. This is disrespectful. What the fuck? Ulysses Fartknocker. Bungie is not the same anymore. At this point, they need to advertise themselves as the logo that brought you Halo.
They
And
can't
this is
because now they're
that's
known as
the
the Destiny.
what have I done?
Yeah,
in my-
because Halo's under the hands of 343 Industries.
We don't.
not
we
even.
Don't talk about Halo anymore.
343 Industries has been folded over by Microsoft to Halo Studios now.
Oh.
That's the what have I done with my life face. Oh, thank you, Kyle. Jesus
You
Christ.
can't survive this. Like everything poisons the. Like you're telling me that several members of the design team liked her work, followed it, and then wholesale lifted. Like they stopped, bro.
Bro.
Wake the fuck up, samurai. We have a city to burn. We like. How do you explain this? There is even like okay. For starters, you're going into the team-based first-person extraction shooter, which is already full to the
Oversaturated.
brim with garbage. If it's not
And
being,
Marvel Rivals.
if
Because
it's
awesome.
not being beaten by better shooters like Marvel Rivals right now, like let me put it this way: to this day, how long has Marvel Rivals been out? Like how many years?
Ooh,
1
2
year?
years. 1 year-ish.
1 year or so. The biggest complaint I heard about Marvel Rivals is people in the community being assholes, but that happens in every multiplayer game. I have not
So
seen.
at this point, that's enough of them.
I have barely seen any complaints about the game balance, the gameplay, the performance. Like the game itself, the product is solid and top notch. You're gonna compete with that with this thing? And turns out that the only like interesting part of it, the art style, is not even your bro. Now you are cooked. It's Jober. It has never been more Jober than it is now. And the best part is when that game comes out, it will most likely get like a few players. Like I'm not expecting a Concord level of failure here, but that thing is not destined to last. It won't. The fact that you dropped a demo and the first response was, it wasn't even bad.
It was an alpha, not even a real demo.
Yeah, you dropped an alpha and the response was,
Nah.
So I hope you enjoy this report on the newest iteration of Lawbreakers.
Oh, no!
Thank you for that, Angel.
I hope that you look forward to
Dragon
seeing
Fate
how
does
this
not approve.
falls apart in one piece. And yeah, it looks like right now, whatever spark of creativity was left in Bungie, sadly, it looks like, yeah, it's been gone. Since
Actually, a long comment that I actually want to read from Ulysses Fartknocker saying, even so, Microsoft has mismanaged Halo so bad that it took 3 games to restructure the company developing the game. Infinite was fun, but it took nearly 4 years to get to this point.
Infinite was the definition of the industry's failure. It came out crap, and it took 4 years to be what it was supposed to. For the record, Cyberpunk 2077 took 2 years to get where it was supposed to.
And it was partly thanks to the popularity of Cyberpunk Edge
Yeah.
Runners.
And Red
not
Bird
even-
Studios is
that's
way
just a
smaller
bonus.
than Microsoft. Yeah, no, Edge Runners was a boost, but all those like patches were important. The point is,
No Man's Sky
No
was
Man's
around
Sky,
for forever.
they're still
It's still-
dumping good free content in there.
It's like and No Man's Sky started off with like it's got its own fucking
Yeah,
autopsy video about it.
yeah,
and
it
like
was
what couple
shit.
yeah like what 6 years later it's one of the fucking
It took
most fun
3 years
exploration
to get
games.
as good as it was supposed to be.
Yes.
And now 3 years after that is the best that it has ever been. No Man's Sky is generally one of the best space explorations and planet development games ever made in years. But they took, no, like, the creator of the game, alright, admits, no, yeah, we fucked up. That's why we're still dropping free content, because we want to prove to people that we can deliver. But this, you can't even deliver on the aesthetics, because the vision that you base this on is not even yours. By the way, Marathon existed before. This is technically like a sequel of an old-ass game.
Yeah,
And guess what?
Marathon predated Halo.
The story doesn't even make sense now.
Damn.
Because the story of the game means that you're going back to an old version of the planet to collect technology, but in the lore of Marathon, old tech is garbage. So we're not even scavenging for good shit. We're scavenging for trash.
Which is
We're
stupid.
taking these
Like what?
bits
Is
to
all
a-
the good shit gone?
We're taking this to the pawn shop. Best I can do is $350.
Oh my God.
Fuck this.
And
Oh,
yep.
hold on, Christopher
I'll read
Justice.
it.
If they didn't make college football for the Xbox One, they could put it on Xbox One. We could put it on Xbox One.
What can they put in Xbox One right now? It's, a
No, it's
French.
already.
I put my soul on the Xbox.
You mean
One.
Xbox Series S?
Yeah.
X and S.
All right. And with that, we have reached the end of the programming. We appreciate all of you for tuning in tonight. You guys have been fantastic in the live chat. So, Angel, now that we have found Naomi Hunter, Snake is in the middle of getting his physical done.
Yeah, unfortunately, our search for yellow fever ended in a bad case of jungle fever because Snake looks like he's about to shit himself to death. And Naomi is forced to confront the consequences of not really her own actions, but you were partially responsible for this, you bitch. More importantly, we found out that, well, we're gonna have to knock down Colonel Campbell because he's gone from reliable colonel to retired colonel to sleazebag. And Rose has somehow become even worse than she was before.
Fuck you!
And Jack has become,
We don't know what he's.
well, let's
become
just
yet.
say all that work and no play made him a very dull boy.
But at least he sounds cool.
He sounds cool because everybody in this game is gargling whiskey or something. And I hope you will join us next time on Los Amigos Play Metal Gear Solid Sons of the Patriots 4.
You did not. Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots. Oh my
Sons of the
lord.
Guns
Dude,
of the Sons.
Get the names right. God
Sons
almighty.
of Anarchy.
That was an all right show.
It was very good. And Mr. Arouse will be holding the controller. He just helped us escape to the troubles of... Actually, that whole level was more like a straight line. We killed like 50 people. What's wrong with you? Jesus Christ. Anyway, he'll be doing that again.
Yes, he
Listen, you don't understand. The war economy, Angel.
That's right, the war economy.
will. All right. And for any wrestling fans out there, tune into my...
I forgot to say it. 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube and Kick.
Yes, please remember that.
Thank you.
Now, for any wrestling fans out there, tune into my program, which is Wrestle Rewind, every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube and Kick. Join me and my tag partner, Mr. Juan
Don't
Arouse,
touch me.
as we review 3 of the most exciting pro wrestling programs in North America today. WWE's NXT, AEW Dynamite, and TNA Impact. On this recent edition, we not only did our weekly reviews, but we also talked about the main event of WWE's Backlash, where John Cena successfully defended his undisputed WWE title against his longtime rival, Randy Orton.
On
And
one
it
hand,
was-
Cena wins, lol.
Yeah.
On the other hand, he
Cena wins.
avenged him.
Who?
Say his name.
Oh, yeah. He doesn't care. It's
I
John.
believe in Joe Hendry.
But this is bad guy John Cena. He doesn't care.
I know, but this is more like Bakura versus Yami.
Oh, my God.
You know?
No,
How
no,
dare
this is
you
not
compare it
Bakura.
to
Like, I
them?
know exactly who I wanted to lose, even though, ironically, both of the men fighting
Don't you mean
here don't
Bakura
have
versus
that much.
Merrick?
Sorry, Merrick, yes.
There you go.
Yeah, I
Like,
know.
yeah, they're both evil, but I specifically wanted one of them to win.
We talked about how it had a slow start, and then the match picked up really a lot when they started hitting all their hallmark moves. And then then Randy Orton pretty much threw Cena not one, but through 2 tables.
Damn.
And he also pretty much did not give his endorsement for Prime Energy.
I mean, I can agree with him on that one.
I took the opportunity
Prime
to
hydration.
Prime
But still,
hydration.
fuck 'em.
That
Yes.
thing is
And fuck
basically a
Logan Paul.
hazard.
So, if you like watching us talk about wrestling and getting into funny hijinks, tune in to every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern right here on YouTube and Kick. Wancho?
Yeah, and of course, let's not forget my program, The Black Files, where we start the weekend right on the uncensored, uncompromising interview and review podcast of the Ravens Flock. As you can notice here tonight, folks, we covered a whole wide swath of stories on the Ravens Flock, spanning the spectrum of nerd and geek culture. But on the Black Files, we just hone in on one story, and we cut in deep, and we don't hold back. This past Wednesday, we recapped the first few days of the Diddy trial. It's a
Soon to be the last days of Diddy himself.
where basically we basically had to re-educate and give everybody like the compressed version of what's happened, why Diddy was arrested, why he's on trial, and how the prosecution and the defense are both trying to work this whole situation out. Basically, right now with Cassie being the very first witness on there, since she was the prime, I guess you could say, victim of Diddy in this instance. What the defense was basically trying to do when they got to try to speak to her yesterday and today, which we couldn't cover because obviously that was in the future and we can't do the future yet.
Future Visions was banned. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, it's not legal yet. The fact is that they were the defense attorneys for Diddy were basically trying to grill Cassie and try to find moments of endearment or moments where she was positively reflecting on any of the experiences that she was having in the while they were describing it. All the while you had monitors for the judge, a monitor for the jury when they actually showed like screenshots of the freak off parties to the judge and to the jury exclusively.
They said, but vibes.
No, the defense was literally trying to go for, okay, she's trying to, like, oh, well, look at how much she was enjoying herself while she was there, and she's responsible for all this. Like,
I don't think you want to use she was enjoying it as a defense in a multiple serial rape and human.
They're trying to look for every little thing to pick apart at to try and get some advantage.
You don't want to use that excuse on anybody because that's the kind of shit that gets your case thrown into the shredder. And you right after.
And I'm sorry to say, I may not be a legal expert, but I do know a sinking ship when I see one.
Exactly.
Rats are trying to flee.
And that's where you better believe, if you want, and that's what we're seeing so far in our little follow-up regarding the shit happening in the Diddy trial. So if you like these kind of deep dive stories, whenever it comes to us discussing like the darker, shadier side of nerd and geek culture, then request access of
It was an abscess because that shit was infected.
Words are hard, apparently. Then request access every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, simulcasting on YouTube and Kick for the Black Files.
I got one more, and then I'll leave it alone
Don't
before I close off. No. Yeah, no. Needless to say, Diddy's portion of the trial is not off to a good start, and it's only gonna go like it's on a slippery slope. No baby oil required.
Why do you think he got all that baby oil? He realized he wasn't slick.
No, I said no baby oil required.
I know. Sorry, the joke was pretty slippery to begin with.
Ha!
There's no need for you to come up with something so greasy here.
My bad.
You're above this kind of stuff.
I know. You know, just like oil and water. I float
Exactly.
above
It just doesn't gel.
No, it don't work that very well.
And folks, tune in to our main show, the number one show here on our channel, The Ravens Flock, which is every Saturday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube and Kick. Join me and my motley crew of nerds as we discuss the latest news and topics circulating in the world of nerd and geek culture. And whether it's a slow week, a busy week, or even a dead week, no matter what studios are trying to steal from artists, or who in the freaking Capitol Hill is trying to ban porn,
He likes donkeys.
Well, there's always something to talk about, and we'll be here to share with each and every one of you. Now, once again, we want to thank all of you for tuning in tonight, and this is something we've been doing for a very long time, working hard and staying strong to make your voice
our mission.
With that being said, Juan, plug us away.
Don't mind if I do. Folks, thank you very much for watching this week's live stream edition of The Ravens Flock, hosted by Jose Casabona, Angel Mendes, Dracofang Cosplays, The Honor Rose Cosplay, K-Sword Cosplay, and yours truly, Wanda Rouse, as we bring you the latest news in the world of geek culture, nerd culture, pop culture, and everything in between, working hard and staying strong, making your voice our mission. Join us as we go live every Saturday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, simulcasting on YouTube and Kick. Hit the subscribe, the follow button, ring the notification bell, stay up to date on all of our content, become an inner flocker by hitting the join button, and until next time, continue to follow us on Facebook.com/TheRavensFlock, Twitter.com/RavensFlock13, Instagram.com/TheRavensFlockOnline, Kick.com/TheRavensFlock, and of course, remember to hit the subscribe button and ring that tiny little notification bell right here on our flagship platform, YouTube.com/TheRavensFlock, humble home of the Black Files, Los Amigos Play, Wrestle Rewind, and The Ravens Flock.
Nice.
All right, folks, thank you very much for tuning in to another exciting edition of our flagship show. Nerds watching all over the internet, we are The Ravens Flock, and we are out.